grossly.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Teachers and students, the session is live on YouTube as well. So if you face any difficulty in joining the session, then you can join us through YouTube live as well. So the link for YouTube live session is already posted in the chat box. So you can use the same link and you can join through there as well. Okay. Good morning, everyone. Teachers and students, the session is live on YouTube as well. So if you face any difficulty in joining the session, then you can join us through YouTube live as well. So the link for YouTube live session is already posted in the chat. We'll be waiting for another 2 minutes, everyone. And exactly at 9:05, we'll begin our session. Good morning, everyone. This is Farhana from Learning Links Foundation, and we have my colleague, Mr. Neeraj, with us today. We hope you all are doing well, and thank you so much for joining us today. So, students, the 5 days boot camp as a part of Leap to Learn program is starting today. So, starting from today, for the next 5 days, we are going to have different sessions by different experts, and we'll get to learn a lot during these sessions. And we'll try learning how to effectively use ATL lab equipment, Atl Tinkering lab equipments, and how we can enhance our skills through this boot camp. बच्चों ये बूट कैंप जो 5 दिन तक है, अगले 5 दिन तक ये प्रोग्राम आपको डेफिनेटली काफी सारे न्यू टेक्नोलॉजी सीखने को मिलेंगे आपके लिए. आप सीख पाओगे टेक्नोलॉजीज इस चीज में. आप अपने स्कूल में जो अटल टिंकरिंग लैब एस्टैब्लिश्ड है उसके इक्विपमेंट को यूज कैसे करना है, उससे हमारे स्किल्स को हम कैसे एनहांस करते हैं, वो सारी चीजें आपको इस बूट कैंप में सीखने के लिए मिलेंगी. So as a part of first day of boot camp, we'll be learning about industrial revolution. ये industrial revolution क्या था, tinkering हम किस चीज को बोलते हैं, हम tinkering के fundamentals देखेंगे, industrial revolution के बारे में देखेंगे, followed by basic electronics. So we'll begin our learning with electronics, and going forward we'll definitely have a lot more interactive as well as sessions by experts from different fields. So to begin with industrial revolution, students, and as I just described the agenda of the day, you can see on your screen, the agenda will be introducing you all to industrial revolutions, and we'll see what are the different technologies that are available in as a part of fourth industrial revolution. Then we'll see what are the basic electronic components we have, and then followed by it, we'll see basic test and measurement equipments, and then we'll have some activities, hands-on activities before we conclude our first session of the day. So students, I can see you all are sitting in schools at, and you have joined through projectors, but still I would request you all to, just look at the screen, and you can unmute and say what did you notice in both the pictures? What is happening in both the pictures here? Students, I understand that I may not be able to hear you all, but still I would want you to look at the pictures very carefully and see what is happening. बच्चों 2 पिक्चर्स स्क्रीन पे है, क्या हो रहा है ये पिक्चर्स में आपको ध्यान से देखना है. आप हमारे साथ YouTube से जुड़े हुए हैं तो आप YouTube के लाइव चैट ऑप्शन पे टाइप कर दीजिए आपका आंसर. आप अगर Zoom से कनेक्टेड है हमारे से, आप टाइप कर दीजिए आपका आंसर चैट बॉक्स में. इफ यू कैन अनम्यूट एंड स्पीक प्लीज. Okay, I can see few responses coming in. Yes, I can see Ruman answering it, correct. So students, here in the first picture that you are seeing, actually here is, someone noticed a problem. The problem was they wanted they did not have access to a geyser or a heater, and they wanted to heat some water. They wanted to boil some water. So what logic did they apply? They took a piece of copper tube. They have, winded it, and after winding, they connected it to the tap. Now, whenever they're opening the tap and whenever they are, starting the stove, you can see the water is getting heated up, and the next outlet of the water is coming out as a boiled hot water. सो बच्चों आप देख सकते हो किसी ने एक प्रॉब्लम देखी कि उनके पास गीजर नहीं है, उनके पास हीटर नहीं है, उन्होंने कॉपर का वायर लिया, उसको मोड़ के करके उसको लगा दिया, और यहाँ से आप देख सकते हो पानी अंदर जो हीटर के, ये जो अभी इन्होंने कॉपर का ये हीटर बनाया है, इसमें पानी तो जा रहा है ठंडा पानी, बट जब आ रहा है वो गर्म पानी बाहर आ रहा है। तो किसी ने प्रॉब्लम देखा और किसी ने सोल्यूशन इसका खुद से बना लिया. పిల్లలు మీరు చూసారంటే సెకండ్ పిక్చర్ లో కూడా ఫస్ట్ పిక్చర్ లో కాపర్ యూజ్ చేసి వాళ్ళు ఒక హీటర్ లాగా టెంపరరీ హీటర్ గా తయారు చేస్తున్నారు. అదే సెకండ్ పిక్చర్ చూసారంటే మనం ప్రతి ఇంట్లో మీరు చూసారేమో ఒక మన కుక్కర్ మాత్రం ఉంటుంది, దాంట్లో ఆ కుక్కర్ లో మీరు డెఫినెట్ గా ప్రెషర్ కుక్కర్స్ యూజ్ చేసి ఉంటారు. అక్కడి నుంచి వస్తున్న హీట్ ని పెట్టుకొని వాళ్ళు కాఫీ తయారు చేయడానికి యూజ్ చేస్తున్నారు. సో దిస్ ఈస్ బేసికలీ అ పార్ట్ ఆఫ్ టింకరింగ్. మీరు ప్రాబ్లమ్ ఐడెంటిఫై చేసి దానికి సొల్యూషన్ ఫైండ్ అవుట్ చేయడం, ఎంతవరకు అయితే మన సరౌండింగ్స్ లో మనకు యాక్సెస్ ఉందో అంతవరకు మనం వెళ్ళి ఆ సొల్యూషన్స్ ని తయారు చేయడానికి మనం బేసిక్ టింకరింగ్ అనేసి చెప్తాము. So if you can see students, someone has got this, someone noticed that there is a problem, and then they identified some solution, and solutions are, you can see, very basic solutions. They just applied the theory knowledge that they have learned in the subjects in your school subject books. So you all know copper has a conductivity, it has a high conductivity rate. So keeping that conductivity feature, or a feature of this copper, they kept it that in mind, they learned it, and then they applied it somewhere. So it's all a part of tinkering, where you identify a problem, where you look into the problem, you try to get a solution which is easy accessible to all. So this is a part of I can say tinkering. This is how tinkering actually goes on. Now if I give you how tinkering has progressed, now in 1817, you can see, now we call bicycle and all, how a bicycle looked like. You can see on my screen in the picture, 1817 is a period. In the year 1817, bicycle used to look something like this, and they used to pedal it through hands. Now in 1870, as the time progressed, you can see what difference did it made. The bicycle is same, the purpose of using it is same, everything is same. The only, everyone has modified. It doesn't mean every time tinkering doesn't mean that you get something new, you develop or you innovate something new. It can also be, you can pick up existing things which you feel, మీరు ఏదైతే అనుకుంటున్నారో ఈ సొల్యూషన్ ఉంది కానీ ఇది చాలా డిఫికల్ట్ ఉంది, దీనికి ఈజీగా ఇంకేమన్నా చెయ్యొచ్చా అని కూడా మనం చూసుకోవచ్చు. आप देख सकते हैं 1817 में किस तरीके से थी. आज भी हम बाइसाइकिल यूज करते हैं, बट हम हर तरीके से एक प्रोग्रेस उसमें ला रहे हैं, जो कि 1885 में, जो आज आप लोग देख सकते हैं कुछ हमारे स्टेट्स में, कुछ डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स में आप देख सकते हैं इस तरीके की 1885 वाली बाइसाइकिल हम आज भी यूज करते हैं. उसके बाद हमारे पास 2009 में हमारे इलेक्ट्रिक वाले आ गए. अब हमारे पास होवर बोट्स है, हमारे पास बाइसाइकिल्स अलग अलग तरीके के हैं. So this is all a progress that is made. So initially someone thought that this is fine, this is the bicycle that we can use for a long, but as time passed, the other person felt, Arey, this is good, but we can modify it somewhere else as well. We can add more to it. సో అది అనుకొని ఇది బాగుంది కానీ మనం ఇంకా मॉडिफाई చేయొచ్చు, हम इसको मॉडिफाई कर सकते हैं और हमारा सोल्यूशन आसान हो सकता है. ये चीज उन्होंने सोची और वो मॉडिफाई होते जा रहा है. This is how tinkering has been progressing since years, students. And you can see the example of your if you have seen, there are CD drives, there are pen drives now. So you can see how this has progressed. If you can see, a tape recorder used to be there, and they used to put in some CD inside it, and then compact discs has come, and then we have your drives. All this is a part of your tinkering journey. So टिंकरिंग इस तरीके से होता है स्टूडेंट्स. एक चीज आप देखते हो, आप उसी चीज को आगे बढ़ाते हो, आप फिर उसको आगे से देखते हो, कोई और उसको देखता है कि वो सही तो है, ठीक है, बट स्टिल हम आगे चेंज कर सकते हैं. तो दिस इज ऑल अ पार्ट ऑफ टिंकरिंग स्टूडेंट्स. आप यहाँ पे देखिए, आप सभी ने न्यूटन्स का लॉ पढ़ा होगा, एप्पल का। सो न्यूटन्स एप्पल का हम लॉ पढ़ने से लेके स्टीव जॉब्स के एप्पल तक कितनी तरीके से टिंकरिंग हमारा प्रोग्रेस हो चुका है। जब हम पढ़ रहे थे, हम न्यूटन का एप्पल पढ़ रहे थे, आज स्टीव जॉब्स का एप्पल हर जगह है। एंड आई होप स्टीव जॉब का एप्पल यानी कि आप सब समझ रहे हो कि स्टीव जॉब्स का एप्पल, आई एम रेफरिंग हियर टू द आईफोन्स दैट आर अवेलेबल. So every other person, there are multiple features in the smartphone, so all this has come, this is a part of tinkering only. So every time, tinkering is something where you explore, where you find out a problem, where you find the simplest solutions, even though there are solutions, and if you feel it can be modified further, it can be made still more easy, that can also be done. Now team, you can see students, from 3D printers to digestible sensors, there is a lot that has come. Now I can say 3D printers, you all might have seen in your Atl tinkering labs. And if you want, I can even show you a 3D printer, a small clip here. So 3D printers are the machines which can design or which can print an object in 3 dimensions. Now this 3-dimensional printer, the printable materials are different, from plastics to cement, concrete. A lot of other things have also been done. Now these 3D printers are used for printing organs, human organs, and from there the progress that you see today, we have digestible sensors as well. So it's just like a tablet, but it is a sensor. Once you take that tablet, it will go inside your body, and it will be able to sense a lot of things, and they find the results of it. And the sensor is completely digestible, यानी कि आप इसको digest कर सकते हो. आपको करना क्या है, आपको ये सेंसर खाना है एज अ टैबलेट, वो टैबलेट का काम करते जाएगा, और वो एक तरीके का सेंसर है जो हमारी बॉडी को सेंस करके हमारे बॉडी के अंदर का जो भी प्रॉब्लम है या जो भी हमारी बॉडी का स्टेटस है वो बताएगा. तो आप देख सकते हो, हमें पता भी नहीं था कि कोई 3D प्रिंटर नाम की मशीन होगी, बट वो प्रिंटिंग मशीन से लेके आज हमारे पास डाइजेस्टेबल सेंसर्स के टैबलेट्स है, वहां तक ये सारा टिंकरिंग प्रोग्रेस ही होता आया है. आप यहाँ पे देख सकते हो, स्मार्टफोन से वर्चुअल रियलिटी किस तरीके से हुआ है. स्मार्टफोन्स हम यूज करते हैं आज भी, हर तरीके का स्मार्टफोन. अभी वही स्मार्टफोन्स को हम यूज कर रहे हैं वर्चुअल रियलिटी के रियलिटी देखने के लिए. स्टूडेंट्स, अगर आपको ज्यादा नॉलेज नहीं है, वर्चुअल रियलिटी इज समथिंग वेयर इन you try to see the environment that is completely virtual, it's not real. Which means sitting at Hyderabad, I can go to somewhere else. I mean, I can view the museums of different countries, different states in a 3-dimensional view. So wo hota hai virtual reality. మీకు వర్చువల్ రియాలిటీ అర్థం కాలేదంటే పిల్లలు, మీకు మీ స్టేట్ లో మీ ఇంట్లో కూర్చొని బయట దేశాలలో ఎక్కడైనా మ్యూజియం ఉంది, లేదా ఏదైనా హిస్టారికల్ మాన్యుమెంట్ ఉంది, అది చూడాలి, విజిట్ చేయాలి అంటే ఆ గ్లాసెస్ తో మనకి 3D ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ ప్రొవైడ్ చేస్తుంది. అది వర్చువల్ రియాలిటీ. ఇప్పుడు చూడు, అక్కడ మీరు పిక్చర్ లో చూస్తున్నారేమో, గ్లాసెస్ పెట్టుకున్నారు. ఆ గ్లాసెస్ లో మనకి 3D లో మొత్తం ది ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ అది ఏదైతే వస్తుందో అది ఎలా కనబడుతుంది, అరే మనమే యాక్చువల్ గా ఆ కంట్రీకి, ఆ మ్యూజియం కి వెళ్ళామా అన్నట్టు ఉంటుంది. That is actually virtual reality. This is all a part of tinkering, students. And also, if you can see here, ఐరన్ మ్యాన్ సూట్స్ ఏదైతే ఉన్నాయో అది కామిక్స్ లో చూసాము. అది ఉంటుందా లేదా అని మనకు తెలీదు. అది జస్ట్ మనం ఒక కామిక్స్ లో చూసి వదిలేసాం, కానీ ఇప్పుడు అది రియాలిటీలో కూడా అవైలబుల్ ఉంది. దిస్ ఇస్ వాట్ ఇస్ అ పార్ట్ ఆఫ్ టింకరింగ్. Now, if you can see, students, we never imagined. I hope that we'll also have Iron Man suits in reality, and that exactly exists. So tinkering makes impossible things to we can convert them into a possibility, and we can do that. So it's all a part of tinkering. Now, this tinkering all has started with industrial revolutions. So this is all what you see from smartphones to virtual reality to digestible sensors. This all did not happen in one go. ఇదంతా ఒకటేసారి కాలేదు. ఇది పోర్షన్స్ లో, డివిజన్స్ లో, डिफरेंट टाइम्स లో అయింది. మొత్తం मेरे अभी तक आप जो भी देखे, ये सारे टिंकरिंग के जो मैंने प्रोग्रेशंस दिखाए हैं स्टूडेंट्स, ये सारा एक साथ नहीं हुआ है, यानी कि एक बारी में, एक ही दिन में, एक ही साल में ये खत्म हो गया, सब बन गया, ऐसे नहीं है. ये सालों से चलता आ रहा है. 18th सेंचुरी में जो स्टार्ट हुआ था इंडस्ट्रियल रेवोल्यूशन, उसको चलते चलते काफी टाइम के बाद एक एक प्रोग्रेस हमारे पास होता आया है. तो आप यहाँ पे देख सकते हैं स्टूडेंट्स, एक रेवोल्यूशन होता है. आपने पढ़ा होगा रेवोल्यूशन, आपने समझा भी होगा रेवोल्यूशन टर्म. I think you know how revolution is defined, or what is that revolution meaning. It is a shift with students, or I can say it is a change that is bringing in, and that is a huge change. बहुत बड़ा difference आ रहा है, change हो रहा है जब हम बोलते हैं revolution. ये जो revolution होता है, ये हमारी life में होता है. That is also అది మనకి బిజినెస్ ఎలా నడుస్తుంది, మన చుట్టుపక్కల ఎలా ఉంటున్నామో అది మొత్తంగా మారిపోయింది. మారిన దాంతో పాటు అది మన లైఫ్ ని ఈజీగా చేసేసింది. हमारे लाइफ आसान हो रही है कुछ चीजों से, उससे हम बोलते हैं रेवोल्यूशन. तो ये जो इंडस्ट्रियल रेवोल्यूशन है, ये सारा आपको 18th और 19th सेंचुरीज में स्टार्ट हुआ था, जबकि हमारे यूरोपियन एंड अमेरिकन बहुत ज्यादा इंडस्ट्रियल हो गए थे. दे स्टार्टेड लुकिंग इनटू इंडस्ट्रीज, दे स्टार्टेड वर्किंग ऑन अ लार्ज स्केल. तब हमारे पास ये इंडस्ट्रियल रेवोल्यूशन स्टार्ट हो गया था. अभी हम जो चेक कर रहे हैं, अभी हमारे पास 4th इंडस्ट्रियल रेवोल्यूशन है स्टूडेंट्स. दिस यू ऑल नीड टू रिमेंबर, दिस विल डेफिनेटली हेल्प यू ऑल. Today we are in our 4th industrial revolution. Before that, there are 3 industrial revolutions which have already passed. Now 4th industrial revolution that you're seeing, your virtual reality, your 3D printers, your artificial intelligence, your driverless cars, all these are part of your 4th industrial revolution. बच्चों, आप जो आज के टेक्नोलॉजीज आप सुनते हो, आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस सुनते हो, या वर्चुअल रियलिटी, ऑग्मेंटेड रियलिटी, 3D प्रिंटर्स, ड्राइवरलेस कार्स, ये सारी की जो सारी चीजें हैं, ये आपके 4th इंडस्ट्रियल रेवोल्यूशन का हिस्सा है. इससे पहले आपको तीन इंडस्ट्रियल रेवोल्यूशंस ऑलरेडी जा चुके हैं. अभी जो आप देख सकते हैं मेरी स्क्रीन पे, आई एम वेटिंग हियर to play a small video of industrial revolution, students. Students, I'm waiting here. I'm just taking a little pause here to play a small video on industrial revolution.
Industrial Revolution, 18th to 19th century. The economic developments of the 1800s saw the development of agrarian and handicraft economies in Europe and America transform into industrial urbanized ones. The term to describe this phenomenon would be known as the Industrial Revolution, and was first used by French writers but made popular by English economic historian Arnold Toynbee. The Industrial Revolution was underpinned by the Agricultural Revolution. From the mid-18th century to the mid-19th century, agricultural production increased significantly. The huge increase in food output supported the expansion and sustained a large population and boosted trade. The increased use of machines over human or animal power in farming also meant that less farm workers were needed, and they could leave the land to industrial towns. Better metals and richer fuel also contributed to industrialization by creating the steam engine, an integral machine to industrialization which powered factories, locomotives, and ships. The new steam engines used coal and iron, both in their construction and as fuel, increasing demand for these resources. Roads, canals, and railways changed Britain dramatically, connecting Britain and allowing goods to be sent over long distances. Visually, the revolution was clear in the new industrial towns, with smoking factories dominating the skyline. The cities were horrible to live in, overcrowded and dirty with dangerous conditions in the factories and strict rules and punishments. The Industrial Revolution saw mechanization in factories of the textile industry, which was previously manufactured in the home, creating the term cottage industry. Now, production could be increased on a large scale because of new inventions such as the spinning mule and the power loom. The iron industry developed with Henry Bessemer's inexpensive process for mass-producing steel. Iron and steel were key materials for constructing the tools and machinery, steam engines, and ships needed for the industrial progress. Industrial labor opportunities drew people to the cities from the countryside, to such an extent that in 1750 only 15% of the population of Britain lived in town. By 1850, over 50% of the entire population of Great Britain lived in either a town or a city, and by 1900 it was 85%. London had 4.5 million people, Glasgow 760,000, Liverpool 685,000, and Manchester and Birmingham 500,000. Great Britain was the birthplace of the Industrial Revolution and was the only mature industrial economy for a long time. Historians have speculated that this was because, as an island, there was relative peace and stability for Britain compared to mainland Europe. Rather than spending on a large defensive standing army, capital could be spent on other ventures, and there was confidence for investors. Native resources were also abundant and readily available for initial technological developments and inventions. Engineers and inventors were also respected and encouraged in British society and were backed by wealthy patrons. A powerful navy and an empire bringing in vast wealth from its colonies also contributed to the catalyst for industrialization before others. Nevertheless, Germany, France, Switzerland, Belgium, and the United States soon emulated Britain's industrial change, and by 1900, Britain would no longer be at the top, with the United States as the world's leading industrial nation in the 20th century.
Subscribe for more history videos.
Industrial Revolution.
So students, you can see you have already watched a video on industrial revolutions. So what all has started at different industrial revolutions, where it all has started, it was explained in the video. Now the same thing what was explained in the video, I'm just giving a brief here. So the first industrial revolution was all about mechanization, water power, and steam power. As you all know how we have used steam power. So this was one innovation, I can say, that has made a huge difference in the first industrial revolution, that is steam power. Similarly, the second industrial revolution has come, wherein mass production, assembly lines, and electricity, all this has come. So electricity was, again, one thing that you can keep in mind that has completely come into utilization. We all started using it. All that had happened in second industrial revolution. Now third industrial revolution, it was all about computers and animations. And now in fourth industrial revolution, you can see cyber physical systems. You can see all the new technological terms that I've used. All these are part of fourth industrial revolution. बच्चों, आपको अगर याद रखना है इस चीज को, तो आप अपने हिसाब से अपने पेरेंट्स का जनरेशन्स को कंपेयर करते जाओ. आज आप आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस सीख रहे हो, आज आप ड्राइवरलेस कार्स वगैरह देख रहे हो. ये सारा जो है हमारा फोर्थ इंडस्ट्रियल रेवोल्यूशन में है. जब आप अपने पेरेंट्स का जनरेशन देखोगे या फिर उनका स्कूलिंग देखोगे, जब वो स्कूल में थे तब वो आप उनको कहीं कहीं कुछ कंप्यूटर्स दिखते थे, बट ज्यादा वो यूज नहीं करते थे. अगर आप वही ग्रैंड पेरेंट्स का देखोगे तो उनके जमाने में कुछ कुछ इलेक्ट्रिसिटी था, बट उनके पास कुछ कंप्यूटर्स या आज जो हम स्मार्टफोन्स यूज कर रहे हैं वो सारा कुछ नहीं था. अगर आप उनसे पहले आपके फोर फादर्स का देखोगे तो उनके पास तो इलेक्ट्रिसिटी भी नहीं था. तो आप अपने हिसाब से keep your generation, your parents, your grandparents, and your forefathers, all this you put it together, you'll be able to understand difference between the revolutions that have taken place. పిల్లలు మీరు అర్థం చేసుకోవాలి అంటే మీరు ఇప్పుడు ఏ టెక్నాలజీస్ యూజ్ చేస్తున్నారో అవన్నీ రాసుకోండి 4 నంబర్ పైన. అదే కొంచెం పైకి మీ పేరెంట్స్ ఏమేమి యూజ్ చేశారో, మీ పేరెంట్స్ కి ఏమేమి తెలుసు అది యూజ్ చేయండి, అది రాసేయండి నంబర్ 3లో. కొంచెం పైకి వెళ్ళారంటే మళ్ళీ మీ గ్రాండ్ పేరెంట్స్, మీ తాతలు ఏం యూజ్ చేశారు, మీ అమ్మమ్మలు ఏం యూజ్ చేశారు, వాళ్ళ టైంలో ఎలక్ట్రిసిటీ ఉందా లేదా అది చూసుకోండి. వాళ్ళకి అడగండి, వాళ్ళ పేరెంట్స్ ఉన్నప్పుడు ఏం జరిగింది, ఏమేమి ఉన్నాయి, వాళ్ళు ఎలా వర్క్ చేసేవాళ్ళు. if you talk to your parents, if you talk to your grandparents, you'll definitely be able to understand the different revolutions that have taken place. So this was all about revolution, students. So what tinkering we were discussing in the beginning, that tinkering, the revolution comes only through tinkering. So this all, the electricity or mechanization or computer and automation, this all did not happen overnight. ఒక రాత్రిలో ఒక రోజులో ఇవన్నీ కంప్లీట్ కాలేదు. వీటన్నిటికీ కావాలి అంటే వాళ్ళు కూడా ఫస్ట్ స్టార్ట్ చేశారు, ఎక్స్ప్లోర్ చేశారు, ప్రాబ్లమ్ ఐడెంటిఫై చేశారు, టింకరింగ్ చేశారు. టింకరింగ్ అంటే ఎక్స్పెరిమెంట్స్ చేశారు, అది నడుస్తుందా నడవదా, అది కరెక్టా రాంగ్ అనేసి. దాని తర్వాత ఒక లెందీ ఎక్స్ప్లోరింగ్, ఆ టింకరింగ్ ప్రాసెస్ తర్వాత ఫైనల్ గా వచ్చే అవుట్పుట్స్ మీకు స్క్రీన్ లో కనపడుతుంటాయి. సో దిస్ ఇస్ ఎంటైర్లీ పార్ట్ ఆఫ్ టింకరింగ్, స్టూడెంట్స్. మీరు రెవల్యూషన్స్ ని నేర్చుకున్నారు అంటే వీటికే ఇండస్ట్రీ 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, 4.0 అనేసి కూడా పేర్లు చెప్తారు. మనం ఉంది ఇప్పుడు, మనం ఎక్కడైతే ఇంటర్నెట్ ఆఫ్ థింగ్స్ గురించి, లేదా మనం ఇప్పుడు ఎలా కంప్యూటర్స్ వాడుతున్నామో, మన టెక్నాలజీస్ ఎలా ఉన్నాయో అవన్నీ ఇండస్ట్రీ 4.0లో వస్తాయి. అది ఈ రోజు నడిచేది. వాటికి ముందుందేంటి, కంప్యూటర్స్, ఎలక్ట్రానిక్స్, ఆటోమేషన్స్ అని నేర్చుకున్నారు. దానికి ముందు మాస్ ప్రొడక్షన్ అంటే ఎక్కువగా ఎలా చిన్న చిన్న క్వాంటిటీలో తయారు చేయడం కంటే ज्यादा क्वांटिटी में हम किस तरीके से बना सकते हैं, हम मास प्रोडक्शन कैसे कर सकते हैं, वो सारा इंडस्ट्री 2.0 में गया था. उससे पहले आप देखोगे तो स्टीम पावर, वीविंग लूम्स, ये सारे किस तरीके से करना है वो सारा उन्होंने 1784 में सीखा था. तो आप ईयर्स भी देख सकते हैं कि कौन से साल से कब तक ये इंडस्ट्री चलता रहा, क्या रेवोल्यूशंस आए हैं. दैट ऑल यू कैन सी ऑन माय स्क्रीन, स्टूडेंट्स. Now, if I say 1784 and 1870, you can see the difference. So this difference is the time that they've been working to bring in other revolution. Now, since 1969, we were working on bringing some revolution, and today you can see the revolution that it has brought. You can now, from drivers, from if I have to say, earlier they used bullock carts and all. From there we today have driverless cars. So this is a revolution that has come, and that is a part of fourth industrial revolution. Here is another small clip, students. You can watch this on revolutions. Students, I think you were able to understand. आपको समझ में आया है, मैं मानती हूँ कि इंडस्ट्रियल रेवोल्यूशंस में कौन से साल से किस तरीके से हमने ईयर वाइज रेवोल्यूशन देखे, वही रेवोल्यूशंस में फोर्थ इंडस्ट्रियल रेवोल्यूशन के थोड़ा ब्रीफिंग में हमने एक वीडियो अभी प्ले किया था. स्टूडेंट्स, ये सारे रेवोल्यूशंस में हम भी कंट्रीब्यूट कर सकते हैं. పిల్లలు మీరు కూడా ఈ రెవల్యూషన్స్ లో కాంట్రిబ్యూట్ చేయొచ్చు, మీరు కూడా మీ ఇన్నోవేషన్స్ ని తీసుకొని రావచ్చు, మీరు కూడా నేర్చుకోవచ్చు. అవన్నిటికీ భాగంగా మీరు మీ స్కూల్స్ లో ఉన్న ఏటీఎల్ ల్యాబ్ ని ఎలా ఉపయోగించుకుంటారు, మీరు ఎలా నేర్చుకుంటారు అన్నది యాక్చువల్ గా మన టింకరింగ్ జర్నీ స్టార్ట్ అయ్యేది అక్కడి నుంచి. Student, as you've seen a lot of information, we understood about industrial revolutions, we understood what tinkering is and how tinkering has progressed. You all can start your tinkering journey from your schools itself. So you can start, you can visit your Atl tinkering labs and you can see what all components or what all tools are available and how you can start tinkering, you can start exploring, and what innovations you can bring on to the nation, and nationwide you bring on some innovations which can ease our lives, and then they can also be a part of the revolutions. You can also contribute in a large scale. Now, if you have seen electronics lab, robotics lab in your school system, or you see an Atl tinkering lab in your system, there are other labs as well where you find some electronics, some robotics components in your school students, similar to Atl tinkering labs. So as a part of Atl tinkering labs, your schools have the different sections. Now, if I start, there is an electronics section, there's a robotics DIY section, there's a mechanical tool section, 3D designing and a 3D printer, circuit designing and soldering, then there are programmable coding software tools. So these all are the very few components that I have listed from the repository of Atl tinkering labs. So the equipment repository or the component repository that you have in ATLs is way more than what I can show on the screen. So few different sections I have picked up and I have displayed here. Students, మీ schools లో ఏదైతే Atl tinkering lab ఉందో, ఆ Atl tinkering lab లో మీకు వేరే వేరే కాంపోనెంట్స్ కనపడతాయి. ఆ కాంపోనెంట్స్ లో నేను ప్రతిదీ చూపించలేను కాబట్టి నేను కొన్ని కాంపోనెంట్స్ కి స్క్రీన్ పైన మీకు డిస్ప్లే చేశాను. మీరు చూసారంటే మీకు ఎలక్ట్రానిక్స్ కాంపోనెంట్స్ ఉంటాయి, 3D ప్రింటింగ్ ఉంటుంది, సర్క్యూట్ డిజైనింగ్ ఉంటుంది, రోబోటిక్ సెక్షన్ ఉంటుంది, మీరు ఎక్కడైతే రోబోట్స్ ని తయారు చేసుకోవచ్చు, ఉన్న రోబోట్స్ ని మీరు నేర్చుకొని చూడొచ్చు, అలాంటిది కూడా ఉంటుంది. సిమిలర్లీ మీ స్కూల్స్ లో ఒక ప్రోగ్రామబుల్ సెక్షన్ ఉంటుంది, మీరు ఎక్కడైతే ప్రోగ్రామింగ్ నేర్చుకుంటారో అక్కడ నుంచి మీరు ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ నేర్చుకొని యూ కెన్ ఈవెన్ మీ ఇన్నోవేషన్స్ ని, మీ ఐడియాస్ ని మీరు లార్జ్ స్కేల్లో తీసుకొని రావచ్చు స్టూడెంట్స్. ఇప్పుడు ఈ ప్రతిదీ మీకు ఇక్కడ ఏవైతే డిస్ప్ले చేస్తున్నానో స్క్రీన్ పైన, आप जो बच्चे स्क्रीन पे इतने ज्यादा टर्म्स आप देख रहे हैं, ये सारे के सारे टर्म्स को हम सीखेंगे हमारे 5 दिन के बूट कैंप पे. हम देखेंगे इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स में क्या होता है, हम देखेंगे कि छोटे रोबोट से लेके बड़े रोबोट तक हम किस तरीके से बनाए, हम प्रोग्रामिंग किस तरीके से सीखे और कौन सी प्रोग्रामिंग सीखनी चाहिए, सोल्डरिंग कैसे करते हैं, सर्क्यूट डिजाइनिंग क्या होती है, 3D डिजाइनिंग या प्रिंटिंग हम किसको बोलते हैं, ये 3D प्रिंटर को कैसे ऑपरेट करना है, किस तरीके से ये मशीन को चलाना है, हमारे जो डिफरेंट टूल्स है मैकेनिकल टूल्स वो किस तरीके से काम आएंगे. ऑल दिस विल बी अ पार्ट ऑफ योर बूट कैंप. आप ये सारी चीजें आने वाले 5 दिनों में छोटे छोटे हिस्सों में यानी हर दिन कुछ ना कुछ नया आप सीखते जाओगे. सो स्टार्टिंग विद इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स स्टूडेंट्स, जो फर्स्ट हमारा सेक्शन है इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स, यू ऑल नीड टू I know you all are attending again from your classroom, so you can even answer to your teachers what do you understand by the term electronics. आपको इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स टर्म से क्या समझ में आता है, आपके दिमाग में क्या आता है, आप एक बारी 1 सेकंड लेके सोचिए. आई एम स्पेलिंग वर्ड इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स, ELECTRONICS. Now think What is coming to your mind? What is that you're thinking about electronics? I'm sure something or the other you might be thinking. आप कुछ तो सोच रहे होगे जब मैं इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स टर्म यूज करूं तो आपके दिमाग में क्या चीज आ रही है जब मैं वर्ड इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स बोल रही हूँ. Okay. There are different responses coming from different students. So Zarmeen says electronics can be useful for us. Yes, Zarmeen. Other students are saying they get the boards, motherboard, they said. Students, yes, there are a lot of things that comes to your mind. So as one of the student pointed out, it is a motherboard that comes on their come in their mind. Yes, motherboards are, I can say, a major components of your electronics complete circuit or electronics. When we say any device that uses the word electronics, definitely will have some or the other motherboard or the PCB board that you have. So all this can be a part of your electronics. So your motherboards, your sensors, your microcontrollers, all this can be a part of your electronics. So in the next session, now we'll start learning about basics of electronics, what is the term electronics means, what comes in electronics. All this we'll see in the next now section. So students, electronics, ఆ టర్మ్ ఆ వర్డ్ ఎలక్ట్రానిక్స్ అని చెప్తే కొంతమంది పిల్లలు చెప్పారు వాళ్ళకి ఒక మదర్ బోర్డ్ లాంటి బోర్డు వస్తుంది మైండ్ లో అనేసి, కొంతమంది రిమోట్ అనేసి పెట్టారు. స్టూడెంట్స్ ఆ అన్ని ఆన్సర్స్ కరెక్ట్. ఎలక్ట్రానిక్స్ అంటే అదంతా మనం ఏం చేస్తామో ఆ ఎలక్ట్రానిక్స్ మొత్తం దాని గురించి చెప్పాలి అంటే అదంతా ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ కి మనం ఏదైతే ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ ఇస్తున్నామో అది మీరు టైప్ చేసి ఇవ్వండి, మాట్లాడి ఇవ్వండి, ఏ పద్ధతిలో అయితే మీరు ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ ఇస్తున్నారో ఆ అంత ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ ని ఎలక్ట్రికల్ సిగ్నల్స్ లో ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ చేసి అది హై స్పీడ్ ప్రాసెసింగ్ కేపబిలిటీస్ ఉంటుంది. ఆ ఎలక్ట్రానిక్స్ ని టాస్క్ త్వరగా కంప్లీట్ చేసే దానికి మనం ఎలక్ట్రానిక్స్ అంటాము. Student, electronics is all about transforming your information, whether the information you give by voice commands or by typing or by just clicking anything, through any means you are giving an information. That information is getting converted into electrical signals, and those signals has the capability of high speed capability. They process that information and they perform the task very fast. That is all about electronics. If I have to say what is electronics, it's a branch of science that deals with different components, that deals with active and passive components. Apart from that, it is all about transforming your information. Any mode of information that you give, that information is getting transformed into electrical signals, and then they have the capability, those electrical signals will have the high speed processing capabilities which will get converted, or that processing will be done very fast to perform a specific task. बच्चों, जो इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स है इसका अगर मैं मेजर इसके बारे में बोलूं तो ये इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स सारा कुछ क्या होता है, हम इंफॉर्मेशन देते हैं, वो इंफॉर्मेशन को इलेक्ट्रिकल सिग्नल्स में कन्वर्ट करता है, और वो सिग्नल्स क्या करते हैं, उसकी इतनी हाई परफॉर्मिंग स्पीड होती है कि वो हमारा जो टास्क हम दे रहे हैं उसको तुरंत ही वो कंप्लीट कर लेंगे, उसको हम बोलते हैं इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स. और ये इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स जो होता है ये एक ब्रांच ऑफ साइंस है जहाँ पे हम डिफरेंट कंपोनेंट्स के बारे में सीखते हैं, डिफरेंट एक्टिव एंड पैसिव कंपोनेंट्स हम बोलते हैं, वो सारों कुछ को मिला के हम इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स का स्टडी बताते हैं. नाउ टू गिव यू एन एग्जांपल हियर, just now I saw an answer like remote, I guess. So one of the students said, when I say electronics, would you get? So they just said remote. Now, if you consider, just think about a TV remote. Mere TV remote ni guttupettukondi. Mere em chestunaru? You are clicking on one of the button or you are clicking some channel number that is getting converted into a signal, and then that channel is getting converted. Now see how quickly or the fast speed that you have. Now you just need to think about it. हम दबा रहे एक चैनल का नंबर और वो इमीडिएटली चैनल बदल रहा है, तो उसकी प्रोसेसिंग स्पीड आप देख लो, और वो जो कन्वर्जन हो रहा है, हम इंफॉर्मेशन दे रहे हैं कि मुझे चैनल पलटाना है, मेरा इंफॉर्मेशन है, मैं बाय बटन दबा के मैं इंफॉर्मेशन दे रही हूँ, और वो क्या कर रहा है, वो सिग्नल्स में कन्वर्ट करके वो इमीडिएटली उसको कन्वर्जन्स कर रहा है. सो दैट इज ऑल आई कैन गिव, keeping that in mind. The one of the student, the way they said remote, you can understand it in that way as well. So this all, now when I said a remote, if you have ever seen a broken remote, or if you can see, I hope majority of the students might have seen, there is a green color board inside your remote. That is called as a motherboard in your in general terms, but it is actually a printed circuit board, PCB. That is actually a skeleton structure on which different components are fabricated, and a soldering or a fixing procedure is performed so that our communication goes very easy. Which means अब बोलने का मतलब ये है स्टूडेंट्स की, जो मदरबोर्ड या ग्रीन कलर का बोर्ड होता है उसको एक्चुअल नाम होता है प्रिंटेड सर्क्यूट बोर्ड. अगर आप उसको देखें कभी, कोई ग्रीन कलर का जो बोर्ड होता है जिसके ऊपर कुछ कंपोनेंट्स लगे हुए होते हैं, उसको हम पीसीबी बोर्ड बोलते हैं. सर्क्यूट बोर्ड है वो एक्चुअली, और वो प्रिंट होता है उसके ऊपर सारा का सारा सर्क्यूट, इसीलिए हम उसको प्रिंटेड सर्क्यूट बोर्ड बोलते हैं. और उसके ऊपर आपको एलईडीज दिखेंगे, आपको उसके ऊपर डिफरेंट कंपोनेंट्स दिखेंगे, वो सारे कंपोनेंट्स हम उसके ऊपर नीचे से हम फैब्रिकेट कर देते हैं, यानी कि उसको पेस्ट कर देते हैं. नीचे एक सोल्डरिंग प्रोसीजर होता है, उसके थ्रू हम उसको फिक्स कर देते हैं, सो दैट हमारा कम्युनिकेशन, जो मैं चैनल पलटाने की बात कर रही थी, वो हमारे लिए आसान हो जाए. दिस इज ऑल अबाउट योर electronics. If you want to understand more, you can definitely refer our activity booklet, which will be shared with you all students. But for now, మీరు అర్థం చేసుకునేది ఏంటిదంటే, ఒక పీసీబీ అనే గ్రీన్ కలర్ మదర్ బోర్డ్ లాంటిది ఉంటుంది. దానిపైన డిఫరెంట్ సర్క్యూట్ డిజైన్స్ ఉంటాయి, అవి ప్రింట్ అవి ఉంటాయి. దాంతో పాటు దానిపైన వేరే వేరే కాంపోనెంట్స్ ఉంటాయి. ఆ అన్ని కాంపోనెంట్స్ కి ఫిక్స్ చేయడానికి, దాన్ని మౌంట్ చేయడానికి లేదా ఫ్యాబ్రికేట్ చేయడానికి మనం అంటాము. అప్పుడు ఒక సోల్డరింగ్ అనే ప్రొసీజర్ ని మనం యూజ్ చేస్తాము. దాని వల్ల అవి ఫిక్స్ అయి ఉంటాయి, అండ్ మనం ఛానల్స్ తిప్పేటప్పుడు ఆ సర్క్యూటరీ ఫాస్ట్ గా వర్క్ చేసి మనకి ఆ ఛానల్ ని కన్వర్ట్ చేసేస్తుంది. దట్ ఈస్ ఆల్ అబౌట్ ఎలక్ట్రానిక్ స్టూడెంట్స్. Now, when I said that green color motherboard has different components on it, whether it is an LED, diode, resistor, capacitor, a lot of components will be there. If you have seen different, if you haven't seen students today, if you find any PCB board in your house, just go and explore it, just see what is there. आपके पास कोई रिमोट है जो खराब हो चुका है, जिसका आपको कोई यूज नहीं है, अब उस तरीके का अगर कोई रिमोट हो तो स्टूडेंट्स उसको एक बारी देख लेना. तो उसके ऊपर आपको दिखेंगे कि डिफरेंट इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स कंपोनेंट्स किस तरीके से है. उसके ऊपर आपको तरह तरह के कंपोनेंट्स दिखेंगे. उसमें एक्टिव कंपोनेंट्स होते हैं, उसमें पैसिव कंपोनेंट्स होते हैं, और उसमें इलेक्ट्रोमैकेनिकल कंपोनेंट्स होते हैं. यानी कि जितने कंपोनेंट्स है उन सारों को हमने 3 हिस्सों में डिवाइड कर दिया है. एक है एक्टिव, एक है पैसिव, और है एक इलेक्ट्रोमैकेनिकल. स्टूडेंट्स, एक्टिव कंपोनेंट्स है जो हमारा एनर्जी सोर्स है, जिसके थ्रू हमारा एनर्जी आता है, लाइक अ बैटरी. जो बैटरी होता है हम उसको एक एक्टिव कंपोनेंट की तरह समझते हैं. इसी एक्टिव कंपोनेंट रेस्पॉन्सिबल होता है, यही एक्टिव कंपोनेंट, इस कंपोनेंट की वजह से हमारा फ्लो ऑफ इलेक्ट्रिसिटी जो है, फ्लो ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन्स जो है, वो कंट्रोल होता है. और जो कॉमनली हमारे पीसीबी बोर्ड्स पे जो एक्टिव कंपोनेंट्स मिलते हैं, वो होते हैं सेमीकंडक्टर्स, वो होते हैं इंटीग्रेटेड सर्क्यूट्स, पावर सोर्स होता है जैसे बैटरी से, एसी या डीसी पावर सप्लाई से, ये सारों को हम एक्टिव कंपोनेंट्स बोलते हैं स्टूडेंट्स. Active components are major source of energy, students, which are responsible for controlling the flow of electrons. So when they control the flow of electrons, they are actually controlling the flow of electricity through them. The energy source, they are the major energy source providers. So some of the examples, if I can give you for active components, there'll be semiconductors, transistors, integrated circuits, power supplies, power supply sources like batteries, AC and DC supplies, all this can be a part of active components. Active components అంటే మీరు అర్థం చేసుకునేది ఏంటి, యాక్టివ్ కాంపోనెంట్స్ ఆర్ ద ఎనర్జీ సోర్సెస్ అన్నమాట. ప్యాసివ్ కాంపోనెంట్స్ అన్నారనుకోండి, అవి కంట్రోల్ చెయ్యలేవు కరెంట్ ఫ్లోని. ఎప్పుడైతే మనం బ్యాటరీ పెడతామో ఆ ఫ్లోని దే కెన్ నాట్ కంట్రోల్ ద ఫ్లో ఆఫ్ కరెంట్. దే ఆర్ నాట్ గోయింగ్ టు ప్రొవైడ్ యూ ఎనీ current or any battery. Actually, they depend on active components to operate. For example, if I'm giving you an LED, until and unless this LED is connected to a power source, that will not glow. Similarly, if passive components, they actually don't depend on active components and they work on their own. So they are the passive component, students. Going ahead, basic test and measurement equipment. When it comes to designing of your circuits, ఎప్పుడైతే డిజైన్ చేస్తారో మీరు మెజర్ చేస్తారు కరెంట్, ఫ్రీక్వెన్సీ, కెపాసిటెన్స్, రెసిస్టెన్స్, ఇలాంటి చాలా పారామీటర్స్ కి మీరు measure chayali, adi chala important untundi. It's very important, students, when you design some circuits, when you work on some circuits, you need to test and you need to measure various parameters, like what is the current in it, what is the voltage in it, what is the frequency. There are other different parameters which you have to measure. That becomes a very essential part. For measuring of this, we need some measuring equipment, like your multimeters, your function generators. These are very useful, and these are very usually we focus only on this. And if you are going for oscilloscopes, you can see in higher educational institutes they also have oscilloscopes and they focus more on that as well. As a part of our ATL lab, you might have seen multimeters. Multimeters are available and they help us in measuring different parameters like current, voltage, resistance. All these can be measured using your multimeter as well. Students, now before we go ahead, we'll move and we'll do some activity, either a touch circuit or some other activity. So here I'll take a pause and we'll just immediately take up any questions that you have. You can paste your questions in the chat box. So if you have any questions, we'll definitely take up those questions and then we'll be moving on to see all these components. How does active components look like? How does passive components? What is an LED? All the basic components we'll see. So students, can you just paste your questions in the chat box, or if one of you can come near your computer or your machine and you can speak up as well. Students, we are waiting here for another 2 minutes so that if you have any questions, I can see a lot of students are writing, then taking notes. So if you have any questions in that, please ask them so that I clarify the questions before we move on to the next session. Okay. Considering this silence as we don't have any questions going forward, students, now we'll see how are these different components, look like, how we can find out which is an active component, which is a passive component, how we can go about that, how you can design your circuits. All this we'll see in the session now. So students, here is a platform called Tinkercad. Tinkercad is an online software where you can connect your circuits without the need of any hardware components. They don't need any hardware components. They just need your time, and they just need a machine where we can work on. Even if you have your mobile phones, if you have access to mobile phones, you can learn this Tinkercad. You can connect your circuits here. So all this is done virtually, so you can connect with the circuits. You can have your LEDs, you can have your other components, you can connect them, and you can see how do they work. So first, what you need to do is you need to go to your Chrome or your browser. Majority of us are using Google Chrome, so go to your Chrome and type Tinkercad. The website for this Tinkercad will be shared in the chat box by my team members. So just type Tinkercad and click on the first one, Tinkercad Learn Circuits. So once you go to this page, this page will open. Click on that link and it will open you. It will take you to this page. Now here you can sign in, you can join now. Now I already have an account, so I am signing in. I'm clicking on sign in because I already have created an account. If you don't have an account, you need to go on join now and you need to create an account. This will help you. This will help you to save all your circuits. See, this is an online platform, I said, no? So the entire data, all your circuits will be saved on a cloud platform so that whenever you want, you can retrieve. मतलब ये है कि अगर आप ये online software use कर रहे हो अपने circuits बनाने के लिए, तो आप कभी भी इस चीज को log in करके access कर सकते हो. If you are working on your mobile phone at home, and after going to school, if you need to rework on the design, you can just log into this website from your account and you can work. You don't have to carry any hard copy or hardware component to carry this designs. Like you take it in pen drive, you take in memory cards, all that is not needed. यहाँ पे ये सेव होता है, वेबसाइट पर ही इनका सर्वर होता है जहां वो सेव हो जाता है, और जब भी आप लॉग इन करो वो डिजाइन्स आपको वापस मिल जाएंगे. मतलब ये है कि ये ऑनलाइन है, तो आपको इसके लिए कोई हार्डवेयर लेके फिरने की जरूरत नहीं है. మీకు ఎప్పుడు కావాలి అంటే ఎక్కడి నుంచైనా అక్రాస్ ద గ్లోబ్, అంటే మీరు ఇండియాలో ఉండండి, మీరు వేరే దేశంలో ఉండండి, మీరు హైదరాబాద్ లో ఉండండి, తెలంగాణలో ఉండండి, డజంట్ మ్యాటర్. మీ దగ్గర ఈ లాగిన్ ఐడి పాస్వర్డ్ ఉంది అంటే మీరు ఎప్పుడైనా దీనికి లాగిన్ చేసుకొని మీ అన్ని డిజైన్స్ కి మీరు యాక్సెస్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. అది మేజర్ గా ఈ టింకర్ క్యాడ్ లో ఉన్న ఐ కెన్ సే ఒక ఫీచర్. దీంట్లో మీకు నేర్చుకోవడానికి కూడా చాలా చాలా సోర్సెస్ దొరుకుతాయి. మీరు ఎక్కడ ఈ వెబ్సైట్కి వెళ్ళారంటే ఇక్కడే మీకు చాలా కాంటెంట్ దొరుకుతుంది, మీరు దేని వల్ల నేర్చుకోవచ్చు. లేదు అంటే you can search it on different websites like GitHub లో మీకు tutorials దీనికి కోడ్స్ దొరుకుతాయి, అలానే మీకు యూట్యూబ్ లో దొరుకుతాయి. సో ఎక్కడైతే మీకు స్టక్ అయ్యారు అంటే మీకు కమ్యూనిటీ ఉంది, దే విల్ హెల్ప్ యూ. సో ఇది యాక్చువల్ గా మీరు చూసారంటే దిస్ ఇస్ అ కంప్లీట్ ప్లాట్ఫామ్ వేర్ యూ గెట్ యువర్ tutorials, వేర్ యూ కెన్ లెర్న్, వేర్ యూ కెన్ ప్రాక్టీస్, అండ్ ఇట్ విల్ కాస్ట్ యూ నథింగ్. ఇట్స్ గోయింగ్ టు బి కంప్లీట్లీ ఫ్రీ అన్నమాట. Once you log in, this interface you can see, students, you'll be redirected here. All these are my projects. So here are my projects that you can see, all my recent designs. If you don't have, if you're creating for the first time, this will remain empty. You'll not have all these boxes and all will not be there. So what am I going to do? I'll click on circuits. Here you can see an option circuits. I'll click on the circuits and I'll go to create a new circuit. I'll create a new circuit here so that we see what are the different components we have, how we can go about them. Now you can see, students, this is a new project page. The first step was, I'm taking a pause here before we go in detail of the interface. The first step is opening your browser, whether it is Google Chrome, Safari, or any UC browser that you're using, any browser that you're using. First మీరు అక్కడికి వెళ్ళాలి, आपको browser में जाना है, जाके वहां से Tinkercad करके टाइप करो. Just Tinkercad आप टाइप करो, आपको ये खुल जाएगा. यहाँ से आप Tinkercad, TINKER, Tinker CAD, Tinkercad जब आप टाइप करोगे आपको ये पेज खुल जाएगा. यहाँ से आप सर्क्यूट्स पे क्लिक कर लेना. आप जब सर्क्यूट्स पे क्लिक कर लोगे आपको ये सारी चीजें यहाँ पे दिख जाएंगी. इफ यू आर लॉग्ड इन, अगर आप लॉग इन नहीं करोगे, आपका साइन नहीं रहेगा, तो यहाँ पे आपको ऑप्शन दिखाएगा कि आप साइन अप कर ले पहले, तो आप वो भी चीज कर सकते हैं स्टूडेंट्स. यहाँ पे देखिए मेरे पास एक स्टार्ट सिंपल सी सर्क्यूट है, काफी सादा सिंपल सर्क्यूट है. आप यहाँ से ट्यूटोरियल्स देखकर कर सकते हैं. अगर नहीं आपको खुद की सर्क्यूट क्रिएट करना है तो आप ये ट्यूटोरियल्स क्लोज कर दें, क्लोज करके न्यू में जाके आप फिर से स्टार्ट कर सकते हैं, जो कि मैंने पिछले टैब में ऑन किया था. ये मेरा एक्चुअल ये ब्राउजर वाला ये था मेरा, जहाँ पे मैं सर्क्यूट क्रिएट करूंगी. आपको अगर ट्यूटोरियल्स चाहिए तो आपको नेक्स्ट टैब में ट्यूटोरियल्स भी मिल जाएंगे. अभी देखिए स्टूडेंट्स, वन पॉइंट यू ऑल हैव टू नोट हियर, इफ यू फॉरगेट और इफ यू डोंट गिव अ नेम टू योर डिजाइन, the software itself will take some name. By default, your software will take some or the other name if you don't have if you don't give a name to your design or your circuit. See here, I already have Brilliant Java USAM is the name that is given by default. I'm changing it and I'm writing Bootcamp 1. So this name I wanted to give. Now you see here, my name has got changed. This is first, you can see once you log on to your design, the first thing that I did is changing my name. And now you can see here a small Tinkercad logo is written or Tinkercad icon is there. Whenever you click on this icon, it will take you to the home page where we saw 3D design circuits. It will take you to that page. See, I'll show you again. I'm clicking on this Tinkercad symbol. It will take me to the home page now. This is my home page, or you can also call it as a dashboard. E page ki mero ochestaru. You will come down to this page again. So every time you click on this page, it will bring you to your dashboard. Now here, if I'm clicking, it will again bring me to the same page. So I'm clicking on my Bootcamp again, and I'm going to tinker this, which means I want to work on this again. Now here what we'll do, we'll see the different features or the different options that we have. Now here you see it's a rotate option. So for example, I have this LED. I'm just dragging this LED from here and I'm placing it. So whenever I want to rotate it, you can select this and you can keep on rotating it. You can see now I'm able to rotate this LED. So this one is a rotate option. So you can rotate the components in whichever direction you want. That is the first option, that is rotate. If you don't want this LED and if you want to delete it, click on delete, it will go off. If you want to bring it back from here, here is a panel of components you can bring back from there. And the next option, the arrow that is going backward is undo. The arrow that you see forward is redo. Undo ante venakki veltam, oka step venakki. Redo ante oka step munduki manam ela veltunamo. Now if you are stuck halfway, ekadaina meer stuck అయిపోయారు, आप कहीं पे stuck हो गए, आपको पीछे जाना है, पीछे का स्टेप रिपीट करना है, या आगे जाना है, आगे का स्टेप रिपीट करना है, वो दोनों ही सूरत में आपको undo एंड redo का ऑप्शन आप यूज करेंगे. दिस इज undo एंड दिस इज redo. फर्स्ट undo करे तो मैं जहां थी मैं वहां पर हूं, मैं redo कर रही हूँ, मैंने इसको जो इमीडिएटली किया था वो मुझे redo आ रहा है. जस्ट रिमेंबर इट दिस वे स्टूडेंट्स. undo यानी कि हम एक स्टेप पीछे जाएंगे, पीछे जाते ही रीडू करते टाइम हम वापस वही जगह पे आ जाएंगे. undo यानी एक स्टेप पीछे जाना, रीडू यानी कि वही स्टेप पे रिटर्न आना. ये चीज आप याद कर लीजिए स्टूडेंट्स. इसके साथ साथ आपके पास यहाँ पे नोट्स सेक्शन है जहाँ पे आप नोट्स सीखेंगे. उसके साथ आप यहाँ पे आपके पास और ऑप्शन है जहाँ पे आप टॉगल नोट्स कर सकते हैं. अब यहाँ पे नोट्स का ऑप्शन मैंने लगा दिया, तो आप यहाँ पे कुछ भी लिख सकते हो. फॉर एग्जाम्पल दिस इज LED. This is positive terminal of LED. This is the negative terminal of LED. आप कुछ भी यहाँ पे notes लिख सकते हो. This will be visible every time. If you don't want to show this, click on this I button. It will go off. Again, click on this I. It will come back. So this is a toggle section wherein అది కనపడాలా కనపడకూడదా అనే ఆప్షన్ కి మనం వచ్చేస్తాం. ఇది నోట్స్ సెక్షన్ అన్నమాట. ఎక్కడ కావాలి అంటే అక్కడ మనం నోట్స్ రాసుకుంటూ వెళ్ళొచ్చు. This is the color of the wire that you have. Now, these are the different wires that we have. Normal wire, hookup, alligator, automatic. Now, I want normal wire, so normal wire is there. Now, this is the different, quick access bar that you saw. And now, when you come back here, students, you can see different components and matter. All these are electronic components. Now, if you remember the presentation, I have shown you different components. Mana PCB board paina, mana green color, हम जो green color का remote के अंदर board देखते हैं, जो printed circuit board होता है, उस पे हमने देखा था कि active components रहते, passive components रहते, electromechanical components रहते, so different components उसमें रहते. वो सारे components में से जो भी यहाँ पे important है, जो हमारे learning में काम आ सकता है, वो सारा यहाँ पे है. बेसिक है, आप ऑल कर सकते हैं तो आपको हर तरीके का मिल जाएगा. आपको जनरल मिल जाएंगे, इनपुट, आउटपुट, सेंसर्स, एवरीथिंग you'll find it here. A simple IC to a microcontroller, everything will be available here. This is called our panel of components. So this is a panel. If you want anything, you can search here. If I want battery, 1.5 15 volts battery, 9 volts battery, 3 volts coin cell, which cell are you looking at battery mein? I want 3 volts coin cell, 3 volts. You can have your coin cell. So different components are there. You can drag any one that you want in your project. If you want any transistor, or if you want see, I already have a transistor here. If you want any semiconductor, if you want any diode, anything that you want, you can find all these components here. So we'll see each component, how is it work, what it is, why do we need it, all this can be discussed now, students. And when you see all these components, here is an option button. You can switch to the different view, which means it will give you a simple description also. Now, for example, resistor, if you don't know what is a resistor, switch this view so that it can say resistor is a device that restricts the flow of electricity in a circuit, reducing the voltage and current as a result. Now, if you don't know what is a capacitor, if you don't know any component, and if you want to understand its definition, आपको definition సమజ్ని హే మీకు తెలీదు ఏంటి the component అంటే just switch this button, it will give you with description అన్నమాట. So you can see different components and their simple definitions too. Now here is a code and start simulation. So once your circuit is ready, you can click on the start simulation so that you see whether the circuit is working according to your requirement or not. If no, then you can again make changes n number of times. This is going to cost us nothing. It just needs our time, and for practice purpose, this is one of the good platforms that we have, students. Now, here I have an LED. So do you know what is an LED, students? A question to all the students. Do you know what is an LED? Students, I think you can type your answers. I can see Monisha raising hand. Monisha, you can unmute and speak, or if you want, you can type your answer as well. Do you know what is an LED?
Light emitting diode.
Very good. Very good, Monisha. Thank you for that. So it's a light emitting diode. Now, students, if you can see, it's a source of, it's a light source that emits light. Ante ee oka LED ane component to manaki light ostundi. ఇది ఒక సెమీకండక్టర్ లైట్ సోర్స్ అని చెప్తాం మనం దీనికి. అది మనకి లైట్ నిస్తుంది ఎప్పుడైతే దానికి మనం కరెంట్ ఇస్తామో. మనం దీనికి మీరు ఎల్ఈడీస్ చూసారేమో, లైట్స్ అనేసి మనకి ఫంక్షన్స్ లో పెట్టుకునే లైట్స్ లో, అవుట్డోర్ లైటింగ్ డిస్ప్లేస్ లో, एवरीवेयर you might have seen that LED. अदे बच्चों, अगर आपने देखा है आउटडोर्स लाइटिंग में या फंक्शंस में कहीं पर भी एलईडी लाइट्स होते हैं जहां पे लाइट आता है. So whenever you give current to it, whenever you supply energy source to it, this component will glow and it will give you light. Actually, that is an LED, light emitting diode. The full form of LED is light emitting diode. It's a semiconductor device that will give you light whenever you apply some current to it. So I am trying to apply some current to it. Now see, LED you understood. LED एक ऐसा component है जो हमें light देता है जब भी हम उसको current लगाएं. तो आपके लैब में भी काफी सारे LEDs होंगे students. LED देखने में इस तरीके से दिखता है. I'm just showing you the pictures of LED. आपने देखा होगा मेरे क्लास लो చూసినట్టున్నారు మీ క్లాస్ లో. This is an LED, students. LED देखने में इस तरीके से दिखता है. मल्टीपल कलर्स के LEDs होते हैं. చాలా రకరకాల కలర్ల LEDలు వస్తాయి. గ్రీన్ కలర్, రెడ్ కలర్, బ్లూ కలర్, RGB అనే ఒక LED వస్తుంది. అక్కడ 3 కలర్లు వస్తాయి. మీకు డిఫరెంట్ కలర్ LEDs ఉంటాయి అన్నమాట. ఇది మనకి చూడడానికి రియల్ లైఫ్ లో చూస్తే LEDs ఇలా కనపడతాయి. ఈ సాఫ్ట్వేర్ లో అంటే LED ఇలా చిన్న సింబల్ లో కనపడుతుంది. ఇప్పుడు ఈ ఎల్ఈడికి ఏం చేద్దాం, కొంచెం కరెంట్ పెట్టి చూద్దాం గ్లో అవుతుందా లేదా అనేసి. ఇప్పుడు ఈ ఎల్ఈడికి చూసారంటే 2 లెగ్స్ ఉన్నాయి. స్టూడెంట్స్, ఇఫ్ యూ కెన్ సీ ఇట్ క్లియర్లీ హియర్, there are 2 legs to this LED. If you see it carefully, and also if you observe it, one leg is, compared to the other one is smaller leg and one is a bigger leg. One is taller and the other one is short. The short leg that you see is negative. The bigger one is positive. Now, even in our circuit, you can see one is short and one is long. Now, if you don't know which one is short, which one is long, do you know, students, for positive, we also have an other term, and for negative, we also have an other term. యానోడ్ అని ఎప్పుడైతే చెప్తామో దట్ ఈస్ మనకి పాజిటివ్ అన్నమాట. అదే మనము నెగటివ్ అన్నామంటే మనకి క్యాథోడ్ వస్తుంది. సో యానోడ్, క్యాథోడ్ అని కూడా మనం చెప్తాం స్టూడెంట్స్. సో యానోడ్ అన్నప్పుడు ఇట్ విల్ బి Okay, students, you can see one is negative, the other one is positive. I'm sorry, students, I think I stuck somewhere here. So ఇక్కడ మీరు పాజిటివ్ నెగటివ్ అనేసి మీరు మీకు అర్థం కాలేదు అంటే యానోడ్ క్యాథోడ్ అనే పేర్లతో కూడా మీరు చెప్పుకోవచ్చు. స్టూడెంట్స్, యూ కెన్ ఈవెన్ ఐడెంటిఫై ది నేమ్స్ బై యానోడ్ అండ్ క్యాథోడ్. Now what I'll do is I'll take a simple cell from here. I'll take a coin cell. I'll type here. Here is a 3 volts coin cell. You can drag and drop it here. And now see how to connect this. This is a battery, and you can see on the battery there is a plus icon. So this is a positive side. You can see this is a positive side, and you can see this is a negative side. Now, if you see positive, this is very clear. And the other one is negative because it has nothing written on it. So this is positive and negative both. So I'm connecting negative to negative, and I'm connecting positive to positive. And then click on simulation. Now, can you see, students, that the LED is glowing? I hope it is clear and it is visible. You can see on my screen, now my LED started glowing. So I'm stopping this. Start simulation button will see whether it will simulate, it will run your circuit, and it will show whether your circuit is working properly or not. See, it's working. Now there are a lot of options, students. Now for the same circuit, you can connect it in different ways. You put it here. You can change the color of your wire. You can change your wire type. Now if I have to connect my, for example, negative, what am I doing? I'm just, connecting it this way. I'll change the color to, again, maybe green. And I'm 1 minute. I'll put it as red. Now I'll change it to green, and then I'll put it here. I'll change the color of the LED. Just click on this LED. You can see multiple options. Red దగ్గర నుంచి yellow చేసేస్తాను. Now start simulation. Yellow LED is glowing. Students, I got a message in the chat box. Explain the device, each one. So yes, here we go. One is first LED. We learned about LED. LED has 2 legs. One is positive. The other one is negative. LED की 2 legs ఉంటాయి, ఒకటి పాజిటివ్ ఒకటి నెగటివ్. एक पॉजिटिव होता स्टूडेंट्स, एक नेगेटिव होता. आपको नाम पता नहीं चल रहा तो आपको एनोड और कैथोड के टर्म्स से भी आपको पॉजिटिव नेगेटिव्स पता चल जाएंगे. एलईडी क्या करता है, जब भी उसको करंट दे वो ग्लो करके आपको లైట్ देता है. ఈ ఎల్ఈడి అనేది ఏం చేస్తుంది, ఎప్పుడైతే మీరు కరెంట్ తెచ్చిస్తారో దానికి కరెంట్ ఇవ్వగానే అది మనకి లైట్ గ్లో చేస్తుంది. ఇప్పుడు ఏం చేస్తాను, నేను ఫస్ట్ ఎల్ఈడి తీసుకున్నాను, ఒకటి పాజిటివ్ ఒకటి నెగటివ్ 2 లెగ్స్ ఉన్నాయి. దానికి కరెంట్ ఇచ్చి చూసాను అది వర్క్ చేస్తుందా లేదా అని. ఇప్పుడు ఇది వైర్లు పెట్టేసిన తర్వాత ఈ బ్యాటరీతో కరెంట్ ఇచ్చాను. ఈ స్టార్ట్ సిమ్యులేషన్ చేయగానే నా లైట్ గ్లో అవుతుంది. దిస్ ఇస్ అన్ ఎల్ఈడి ఫంక్షనింగ్ అన్నమాట. So I'm not doing anything extraordinary here, students. It is just we are learning what LED is and how it works. LED ante dinki definition what we learned. LED is a component that has 2 legs. The full form will be light emitting diode. It's a semiconductor diode or semiconductor device, you can say. It's a semiconductor diode which will give you light whenever current passes through it. So what did we do? Current ichi chusamu, idu vastunda leda. So we applied, we brought a power source of 3 volts and we are checking whether this LED is glowing properly or not. So now I hope you all understood what LED functioning is. So LED is a device that will glow whenever you give current. Current ichchesamu, glow ayindi. इसी को हम कलर चेंज कर सकते हैं स्टूडेंट्स. जब भी आप एलईडी पे एलईडी पे क्लिक करो, ये बॉक्स यहाँ पे खुल जाएगा. यहाँ से आप ग्रीन कर सकते हो. अभी देखो ग्रीन कलर हो गया एलईडी का. आप इसको ऑरेंज कर सकते हो. आपको जो कलर चाहिए यहाँ से आप ले सकते हो. ये रेड ले सकते हो, ब्लू कलर ले सकते हो. तो एलईडी का कलर चेंज करने का ये ऑप्शन जो है, क्योंकि मैंने गूगल पे आपको दिखाया था कि मल्टीपल कलर के एलईडीज होते हैं, तो आपको कलर अगर चेंज करना हो तो आप यहाँ से इसका कलर चेंज कर सकते हो. This is at the second, the first step of learning. So I hope you all understood what LED is and how is it functioning. Now, if you can see here an exclamation mark, so just click on this exclamation. You can read out current through the LED is 61.9 MA, while recommended maximum is 20.0 MA, that is amperes. A stands for amps and M stands for milliamps. The usable lifetime of LED may be reduced. अंटे यहाँ पे जो मैसेज आ रहा है स्टूडेंट्स, ये बोल रहा है कि करंट जितना चाहिए एलईडी को वो सिर्फ 20 मिली एम्प्स है और आप जो दे रहे हो वो 61.9 मिली एम्प्स है, जिसकी वजह से आपकी एलईडी कभी भी फ्यूज हो सकती है, वो खराब हो सकती है. It is just telling me your source of current is more and the LED requires very less. If you give more power to LED, it may get fused off and you may not have that, the lifetime of the LED can be reduced. So LED ka matlab, ye LED ka exclamation jo hai, ఇదేం చెప్తుందంటే ఎల్ఈడి కావాల్సింది 20 మిల్లీ ఆంప్స్ల కరెంట్, మనం ఇచ్చేది 61. ఆ 61 ఎక్కువ ఇస్తున్నారు కాబట్టి లైట్ మనది ఎల్ఈడి ఏదైతే ఉందో అది ఫ్యూజ్ అయిపోతుంది అనేసి వాళ్ళు చెప్తున్నారు. అది ఫ్యూజ్ కాకూడదు అంటే మనం ఏం చేయాలి, ఈ బ్యాటరీలో ఉన్న కరెంట్ ని తగ్గించాలి. లేదు అంటే ఇక్కడ మధ్యలో వేరే ఏదైనా కాంపోనెంట్ పెట్టాలి, that should reduce the power. See, if I keep it like this only, it will show me, it will show me this, I can say the error message or message wherein it will keep displaying that whatever current you are applying, it is comparatively more. So now it is asking us to reduce, otherwise your battery will fuse off. Now I need to reduce the current. What should I do? How can I reduce the current is a major question. Now what I'll do, I'll go to my general components. From there, I will drag this resistor. Now I need to drag the resistor. What does resistor do? This resistor, the name itself says it will resist. Resist means aapadam. Resist yana rokna. Resist means it will forcefully stop anamata. అది స్టాప్ చేయాలి అంటే మనం ఏం చేయాలి, ఈ కరెంట్ ఎక్కువ ఉంది కాబట్టి కరెంట్ ని తగ్గించాలి. అది తగ్గించాలంటే మనం ఏం చేస్తాం, మధ్యలో నుంచి తీసుకొచ్చి మనం ఒక ఎల్ఈడిని పెట్టేద్దాం. ఎల్ఈడికి కనెక్ట్ చేసేద్దాం ఒక రెసిస్టర్ కి. అప్పుడు ఏమవుతుంది, కావాల్సిన కరెంట్ కంటే ఎక్కువ ఉంది కదా, ఆ కరెంట్ ని తగ్గిస్తుంది అనమాట. ఇప్పుడు చూడండి స్టూడెంట్స్, కెన్ యూ ఫైండ్ అవుట్ దట్ ఎక్స్క్లమేషన్ మార్క్ which was there? And if, there are two observations here, students. Two things you have to observe here. One, without this resistor, our LED was glowing much brighter. ఇప్పుడు చూడండి ఆ రెసిస్టర్ ని తీసేసాను, ఇప్పుడు లైట్ గ్లో అవుతున్న ఎంత ఇంటెన్సిటీ ఉంది, ఎంత డార్క్ గా గ్లో అవుతుంది చూడండి. ఇక్కడ yellow కలర్ డార్క్ గా గ్లో అవుతుంది, ఇంకా ఈ ఎక్స్క్లమేషన్ కూడా వస్తుంది. అప్పుడు నేను ఏం చేస్తున్నాను, ఈ రెసిస్టర్ తెచ్చి మధ్యలో ఈ రెసిస్టర్ ని కనెక్ట్ చేస్తున్నాను. ఈ రెసిస్టర్ ఏం చేస్తున్నాను, ఈ పాజిటివ్ టెర్మినల్ కి మధ్యలో పెట్టి నౌ ఐఎమ్ ట్రైంగ్ టు సీ. నౌ యూ సీ the brightness of LED has come down as well as the exclamation mark is not there now. This exclamation mark has gone and you can see there is nothing, there's no exclamation ledu. పైగా అక్కడ బ్యాటరీ పవర్ తగ్గుతుంది కాబట్టి ఈ కరెంట్ వచ్చేది మన బ్రైట్నెస్ ఏదైతే ఉందో ఆ బల్బ్ ది ఎల్ఈడి చాలా తగ్గిపోయింది. Light is glowing but the light is very glowing with very less current, so it is very light anamata. If you see, there's a comment in the section, students, where the other students are saying they can't see the light, whether the LED is glowing or not. Students, the LED is glowing but the current is very less, so LED value adan kavalsina current taggindi kabatti it has come down. wahan pe current jitna chahiye utna nahi hai, pehle tha काफी ज्यादा था, अब है काफी कम हो गया। तो ये एलईडी पहले ग्लो हो रही थी ज्यादा करंट से, अब बहुत कम है तो लाइट ग्लो कर रही है। इसको कितना चाहिए उतना देंगे तो हम क्या कर सकते हैं, ये रेसिस्टर की वैल्यू चेंज कर सकते हैं स्टूडेंट्स। You can change the value of resistance. I'm just, you can place it anywhere, wherever you want. So I'm keeping it to the side and clicking on this resistor. So resistor has different values on matter. There are different resistors with different values. Now, if you want to change its value, you can change the value so that our LED glows with, much high intensity or the way you want. ఆ రెసిస్టర్ ఏదైతే ఉందో, రెసిస్టర్ అంటే ఏంటిది, ఇది ఒక డివైస్, అది కరెంట్ ఫ్లోని ఎంత కరెంట్ అయితే పోతుందో అంతే ఇచ్చి మిగతా కరెంట్ అది ఆపేస్తుంది, అది రెసిస్టర్। स्टूडेंट्स रेसिस्टर का मतलब यही है कि ये ऐसा कंपोनेंट है जो करंट को जितना चाहिए उतना देके काफी ज्यादा करंट को ये रोक देता है, वहीं पर जितना है उतना तो दे दिया, जितना चाहिए बाकी का वो रोक देता है वहीं पर। इट विल स्टॉप द एक्स्ट्रा फ्लो ऑफ करंट, जितना भी ज्यादा हो रहा है वो ज्यादा, जितना ज्यादा हो रहा है उतना ज्यादा को वो रोकते जाएगा। इट विल स्टॉप दैट एक्स्ट्रा फ्लो, इट विल गिव ओनली हाउ मच इज नीडेड एंड इट विल स्टॉप द रेस्ट ऑफ दैट। So there is resistor ఏదైతే ఉందో, this resistor కి values different గా ఉంటాయి. This resistor has different values అన్నమాట. Now the value of this resistor can be identified or can be understood by the color bands అన్నమాట. If you see this resistor, there are different colors on it. So the color band ఏదైతే ఉందో, based on that color band, you'll be able to identify its value. నా ఇక్కడ చూడండి, ఈ రెసిస్టర్ కి 1 కిలో ఓమ్ ఉంది. ఇప్పుడు నేను ఏం చేస్తున్నాను, ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ దిస్ ఇస్ ఎడిటబుల్ స్టూడెంట్స్, వెన్ ఎవర్ యూ గెట్ దిస్ డైలాగ్ బాక్స్, ఇది ఎడిటబుల్, ఇక్కడ మీరు ఎడిట్ చేసుకోవచ్చు వాల్యూస్। ఈ రెసిస్టర్ పేరులో R1 అని పేరు పెడుతున్నాను, రెసిస్టెన్స్ దీనికి ఎంత పవర్ కావాలి, ఆ రెసిస్టెన్స్ ఎంత ఉండాలి, దాని వాల్యూ ఎంత ఉండాలి అంటే 220 అని పెడుతున్నాను। ఈ కిలో ఓమ్స్ నుంచి ఓమ్స్ కి పెడతాను, ఇక్కడ యూనిట్స్ ఉన్నాయి అన్నమాట। ఇక్కడ చూడండి ఓమ్ ఉంది, కిలో ఓమ్, మెగా ఓమ్, గిగా ఓమ్ అనేసి, మళ్ళీ నెగటివ్ లో వెళ్ళారంటే మిల్లీ, మైక్రో, నానో, పీకో అనేసి కిందికి వస్తాయి, పైకి వెళ్తాయి। ఆ రెసిస్టర్ की यूनिट्स इवी स्टूडेंट्स, ये यूनिट्स है जो रेसिस्टर के वैल्यूज है। ये इसका जो सिंबल आप देख रहे हो, इसका यूनिट ओम है। ऐड करते जाओगे तो किलो ओम में जाएगा, और ज्यादा चाहिए तो मेगा ओम में जाएगा। कम में जाओगे, नेगेटिव्स में आओगे या नीचे आओगे तो ओम होगा, मिली ओम होगा, माइक्रो होगा, नैनो होगा। इस तरीके से यहाँ पे आपको सिंबल्स मिलेंगे। पहले 1 किलो ओम का रेसिस्टर मैंने लिया था, अभी इसका वैल्यू में 220 ओम्स कर रही हूँ। आई एम चेंजिंग द वैल्यू ऑफ दिस रेसिस्टर टू 220 ओम्स एंड नाउ आई एम अगेन गोइंग टू सिमुलेट। Now can you see the difference, students? Now 220 ohms से my resistor, my LED is glowing little brighter. Now 3 observations, students. 1, without resistor my LED was glowing very bright. నా LED చాలా బ్రైట్ గా గ్లో అయింది ఈ రెసిస్టర్ అనే కాంపోనెంట్ లేకపోతే। అది పెట్టిన తర్వాత చాలా తగ్గిపోయింది, ఎందుకంటే రెసిస్టర్ వాల్యూ ఎక్కువైంది। ఇప్పుడు రెసిస్టర్ వాల్యూ తగ్గిస్తే నార్మల్ గా LED గ్లో అవుతుంది। स्टूडेंट्स यू कैन सी दिस, यू कैन नोट दिस। फर्स्ट केस में LED ज्यादा ग्लो हो रहा था, जहां पे बिल्कुल भी करंट बहुत ज्यादा था और कोई रेसिस्टेंस नहीं था, तो लाइट का जो इंटेंसिटी या ब्राइटनेस था काफी ज्यादा था। सेकंड केस में रेसिस्टर लगाते ही बहुत ज्यादा करंट रुक गया, तो LED का ब्राइटनेस जो था बहुत कम हो गया। अब नॉर्मल रेसिस्टेंस का वैल्यू है तो आप देख सकते हो LED भी नॉर्मली ग्लो कर रही है। I hope you all understood, students. You can change the value to even 100. 100 ohms you keep and you see the brightness has increased little more. Now just see the brightness, students. I'm changing the value. See, when it is 10 ohms, see the exclamation has come, which means this resistance is not able to stop extra current, making it 100. Exclamation has gone and see the intensity, making it 200. Intensity తగ్గిపోతుంది। అంటే ఇక్కడ మేజర్ గా ఏం జరుగుతుందంటే ఈ రెసిస్టర్ ఎంత కరెంట్ ను ఆపుతుందో చూసి ఈ ఎల్ఈడి కి వాల్యూ, ఈ ఎల్ఈడి కి బ్రైట్నెస్ ఇంక్రీజ్ అవుతుంది। స్టూడెంట్స్, వాట్ ఇస్ యాక్చువల్లీ హ్యాపెనింగ్ హియర్ ఇస్ బేస్డ్ ఆన్ ద వాల్యూ ఆఫ్ దిస్ రెసిస్టర్ the current flow is either increasing or it is decreasing. That is what is a major step that is happening. Now you change the value of resistance to 1000. You see the light, the bulb brightness has come down. You make it 100, it is increasing. You make it 1000 or 10,000, it is decreasing. Now, also one point you have to note, every time I'm changing the value, you can see the color bands are also changing. Resistor color bands are changing with the values that I'm changing. See, I'll make it 400. Now see, there was no yellow and red. Now it has come. I'm making 500 or 5000. You can see green and red has come. So every time I'm changing the resistance value, the color of this resistor is also changing, which means the color band, the colors depend on the value. That color itself shows the value of a resistor. I hope students you were able to understand resistor ఏంటిది, LED ఏంటిది, ఒక సింపుల్ సర్క్యూట్ ఎలా డిజైన్ చేయాలి అన్నది మీకు ఐ హోప్ మీకు అర్థమైంది. నా ఇంకో ఇలాంటి సర్క్యూట్సే చేయడానికి విల్ బి గోయింగ్ అహెడ్. Thank you students for confirming in the chat box that it is clear to you all. So before we proceed further and connect different LEDs, multiple LEDs and multiple resistors, we'll take a break here of 3 minutes wherein you need to look into what all we did. I know majority of the students are writing notes. Just reflect on the notes. We learned about tinkering, what actually is the word tinkering means, how this tinkering has progressed over the years, and due to this tinkering, or how did we lead to revolutions, and 4 industrial revolutions we saw. And then we looked into different sections of our lab, our tinkering labs, what all components or different verticals that we have in our lab. From there, we started to electronics. Now, after electronics, we'll see robotics, mechanical, 3D printing. All this we'll learn in the upcoming sessions. When we started electronics, we had to do some circuits. We had to prepare some circuits. So what we did, we logged on to Tinkercad software, which is easy, free source. So you can connect any circuit here and you can start working. Students, your first session homework for the day is, you all have to go back to this Tinkercad and create one circuit and see are you able to do it or not. And e-software use cheyadaniki, you don't need a laptop, you don't need a desktop, you don't need bigger devices. Even you can do it on your smartphone. మీ దగ్గర ఆండ్రాయిడ్ ఫోన్ ఉంది లేదా ఐఫోన్ ఉంది, ఏ ఫోన్ ఉన్నా దానిపైన కూడా మీరు ట్రై చేయొచ్చు. ఇఫ్ యూ హ్యావ్ ATL lab and if you have access to lab, please spend some time today, log on to this Tinkercad, see whether you are able to connect this circuit or not. I'm not asking you to replicate the same circuit. I will give you different circuits you can create here and you can see, you experiment, you see what are the different components available. You learn by exploring only, students. We all learn by exploring much better. So, let's explore the software and let's learn. Definitely, I'm sure that you'll be able to design your own circuits very soon. Students, now what all I said, I'll take a break here for 3 minutes for you all to refresh and reflect on our learnings. మనం 3 minutes బ్రేక్ తీసుకుంటున్నాం స్టూడెంట్స్. మీరు పొద్దున్న నుంచి మనం ఏం నేర్చుకున్నామో అదంతా ఇప్పుడు చూయించడం, మీరు ఒకసారి రిఫ్లెక్ట్ చేసి ఒకసారి రీక్యాప్ చేయండి. మనం ఏం చేసాము, మీరు స్కూల్లో ఉన్నారు అంటే ఒక స్టూడెంట్ నించొని చెప్పండి, ప్రతి వాళ్ళు వింటారు. ఇఫ్ యు ఆర్ అట్ అ స్కూల్, ఇఫ్ యు ఆర్ సిట్టింగ్ విత్ యువర్ ఫ్రెండ్స్, ప్లీజ్ ఆస్క్ దెమ్. ఒక స్టూడెంట్, వన్ ఆఫ్ యూ స్టాండ్ అప్ and tell what all we discussed since morning till now, so that everyone can remember what all we did. And if you're writing notes, just read out the notes that you have maintained, so that everyone else can get a recap also. Students, here we'll wait for it's 10:34 now. At 10:37 we'll start again. Uh, Thank you, students. I can see there are different messages that you have completed your discussion. So now we'll see few more examples of different circuits so that we learn different components which are essential parts of our electronics. So I have my colleague Mr. Neeraj with us who will share few more examples of circuit connections, and he'll introduce us to new components now so that we get to understand more about the different components. Neeraj, over to you.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much, Prana ma'am. So students, let's continue. हम आगे start करते हैं for the Tinkercad. All right. Okay. So before moving ahead, I hope all of you came back. आप सभी वापस आ गए हैं after just आपका break over हो गया, I guess, for 3 minutes. Let's start with Tinkercad. So I hope you all know this Tinkercad website is free of cost and आप इसको अपने मोबाइल फोन पे भी एक्सेस कर सकते हैं, अपने लैपटॉप पे भी आप एक्सेस कर सकते हैं. Now, ma'am have already showed, I think, a lot of things in this. Now, I'm going to tell you about some basic things in electronics. As you know that हम जो हमारा 7th standard है, we have 8th standard. In our class, we learn about electronic circuits. What is series circuit? What is parallel circuit? What is closed circuit? Open circuit? These are some terminologies. ये कुछ terminologies है जो आप सुनते हैं अपने physics के अपने science के book में. Now, today we are going to understand. हम समझेंगे कि कैसे we can do this series and parallel और ये कैसे काम करता है, how we use these connections in our home. हमारे घर में ये connections कैसे use होते हैं जो हम अपने books में actual में पढ़ रहे हैं. So starting with this, सबसे पहले हम क्या करेंगे, हम जब practical करते हैं Tinkercad सॉफ्टवेयर पे, first what we will do, we will see here, आप यहाँ देखेंगे we have lots of components. ओके यहाँ आपको साइड में आपको बहुत सारे कंपोनेंट्स मिलेंगे. यू कैन सी अ लॉट ऑफ कंपोनेंट्स. नाउ विल स्टार्ट विद द बेसिक. हम सबसे पहले बेसिक से स्टार्ट करेंगे. सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, इफ यू वांट टू मेक अ सर्किट, इफ यू वांट टू डिजाइन इलेक्ट्रॉनिक सर्किट, सबसे पहले आपको क्या चाहिए होता है अगर आप कोई सर्किट डिजाइन करने वाले हो. द फर्स्ट थिंग इज ब्रेडबोर्ड. दिस इज द बेसिक component, basic, we can say a chip. It's not a chip basically, it's a kind of electronics. It's a board जहाँ पे आप अपने सर्किट्स बना सकते हैं. यू कैन मेक योर मेगा प्रोजेक्ट्स ऑन दिस बोर्ड. आप अपने अच्छे अच्छे बड़े बड़े प्रोजेक्ट इस बोर्ड पे बना सकते हैं. एंड यू कैन लर्न बेसिक थिंग्स. Like suppose if you don't know about what is series circuit, what is parallel circuit, series circuit क्या होता है, parallel circuit क्या होता है, कैसे हम उसको बनाएं. In our ATL lab, if I am a new student, I don't know anything. मुझे कुछ नहीं पता ATL lab के बारे में. I don't know circuit कैसे बनते हैं, how to make a circuit. So this is the first board where you can design your connections. आप अपने connections design कर सकते हैं. Even आप यहाँ पे अपने different kinds of circuits बना सकते हैं. So सबसे पहले I'll explain you first how to understand this board. We'll understand इस board को हम कैसे use करेंगे, सबसे पहले हम वो समझेंगे. Okay. So here, students, as I have already searched here, can you see here the search bar? This is the search bar in this side. Now what I'm doing here, I'm just writing breadboard. BREADBOARD. मैंने क्या search किया? Breadboard. And when I search breadboard, जब मैंने breadboard search किया, here it's showing me two things. यहाँ ये दो चीजें दिखा रहा है, breadboard and breadboard small. आप कौन सा breadboard यूज करना चाहते हैं वो आपको यहाँ पे दिखाएगा. So we have actually in the ATL lab we have 3 types of breadboard. Mini, एक medium size आता है, एक bigger size आता है. There are 3 size in the ATL lab of breadboard, mini, medium और the bigger one. Okay. So सब कुछ सेम है, बस द थिंग इज कि इफ यू वांट टू मेक अ बिग सर्किट, अगर आप बड़ा सर्किट बनाना चाहते हैं, अगर आप बड़ा प्रोजेक्ट बनाना चाहते हैं, इफ यू वांट टू मेक अ बिग प्रोजेक्ट, देन यू कैन यूज this board according to your project. Okay, now here I will test first. We will start with the small breadboard. हम सबसे पहले छोटे breadboard से start करेंगे. So I just drag and drop it here. मैंने drag किया और drop किया यहाँ पे. Okay. Now give me a second. Just a second, students. Yes. So सबसे पहले what we are doing, हम सबसे पहले क्या करने वाले हैं? I'll show you. Just give me a second. My screen. Yes. Now can you see here we have 2 kinds of breadboard. आप यहाँ देख रहे होंगे मेरे स्क्रीन पे दो टाइप के breadboard हैं. The first one is this one. I'll show you this one. Just give me a minute. I think my screen is a little bit hanging. मुझे थोड़ा सा time दीजिए. But actually it's a online platform, so it's take time in simulation. मैं इसको restart, मैं को refresh कर लेता हूँ. I guess my screen is a little bit hanging. मैं इसको फिर से refresh कर रहा हूँ. हाँ, yes. Now can you see here? We have two pictures of breadboard. The first one is this one. So I think I have just copied two breadboards. मैंने दो breadboard copy किए हैं. I'll delete the first one. मैं इसको delete कर रहा हूँ. So how to delete? आप इसको select करके भी यहाँ से delete कर सकते हैं. You can just select and you can delete from here. Okay, this is the delete option. You can delete it from here. Now, if you want to rotate, अगर सब घुमाना चाहते हैं, घुमाना means if you want to rotate, just select and use this one. No, oh sorry, this one, this option. Can you see here? This one. By using this, you can rotate your components like this. So this is how you can rotate your components that you have used. So here I have used the breadboard. Now I'll show you. मैं आपको कुछ इसके बारे में बताऊंगा about key features, कि how you can understand which these holes, these A, B, C, D. Can you see A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J? These are the alphabets from starting from A to J. So why these alphabets are here? ये alphabets क्यों है यहाँ पे? Just to understand कि हमारे पास 1 2 3 4 5 holes are here. 1 2 3 4 5 holes are here. So these are the holes. These are the interconnected holes. ये जितना आप holes देख रहे हैं ये अंदर से interconnected है, मतलब इनके अंदर एक wire है जो इनको आपस में connect करती है. There is a wire inside it which connects all the holes together. In the similar way, can you see here again? Just a second. So F, G, H, I, J. These are also the holes and on the breadboard which are interconnected with each other. Now, why we use breadboard? Basically, the main question is कि why we use breadboard in our circuit. हम breadboard को क्यों use कर रहे हैं हमारे circuit designing में? Because see, breadboard is basically a tool which helps you to provide multiple connections. Breadboard एक ऐसा electronics tool है, एक ऐसा tool है जो आपको help करता है multiple connections बनाने में. Let's suppose अगर आपके पास, I'll give an example also. Just give me a second. Yes, let's suppose I'll search here battery, BATTERY. Okay, I have used a 9 volt battery. Suppose I want to use a battery. Battery. Let's suppose this is my battery and like this. Now students, this is my battery, right? And battery is having two terminal. जब आप battery use करते हो अपने घर में, you have noticed, आपने notice किया होगा that there are two terminals. Battery के दो points होते हैं, plus and minus. Okay, if I show, see it's a negative, ये negative terminal है, and this one is a positive, एक positive terminal है. All right. And suppose you want to make a project where you have to use multiple LEDs. आप एक ऐसा प्रोजेक्ट बना रहे हैं जहां पे आपको मल्टीपल एलईडीज कनेक्ट करनी है विद योर बैटरी. आपको मल्टीपल, बहुत सारी बैटरीज कनेक्ट करनी है अपने बैटरी के साथ में. नाउ इफ आई सर्च हियर, मैं यहाँ पे सर्च कर रहा हूँ एलईडी. ओके, दिस इज माय एलईडी. ये हमारी एलईडी है. अब वैसे ही मेरे पास में बहुत सारी एलईडीज है. 1 2 3 4 5. अब आप मुझे बताइए, यू विल टेल मी स्टूडेंट्स, कैन वी कनेक्ट दीज एलईडी? क्या हम इस एलईडी को इस बैटरी के साथ कनेक्ट कर सकते हैं? हमारे पास जो 5 एलईडीज हैं, क्या हम इनके साथ कनेक्ट कर सकते हैं? कैन वी कनेक्ट दीज एलईडीज टुगेदर विद दिस टू टर्मिनल? What's your answer here? No, you can write in the chat box also. I think you are using a YouTube or you are using a Zoom. आप एक YouTube या Zoom पे आप इसको watch कर रहे हो, तो आप अपना आंसर आप अपने कमेंट बॉक्स में आप लिख सकते हैं. और you can answer to your teacher also. आपके जो टीचर्स हैं जो आपके साथ में हैं, आप उनको भी बता सकते हैं कि क्या हम इन LEDs को, can we connect these LEDs with a single battery? See here we have only two terminal, positive and negative, but if I want to connect this LED with this battery, so how I will do? मैं कैसे इसे connect करूंगा? I'll click on this negative part and I'll connect this negative part to the cathode. Okay, and I'll click this positive part. I connect this to the like this. So this is how I have connected my LED with my battery. नाउ मैंने अपना बैटरी को अपने एलईडी से कनेक्ट कर दिया है. अब मुझे अपने इस एलईडीज को भी अपने बैटरी से कनेक्ट करना है. So students, if I want to connect these LEDs with my battery, then again what I have to do, I have to make a lot of arrangement of wires. For example, I have to, मुझे क्या करना है, बहुत सारे wires connect करने पड़ेंगे, like this one, and again I have to click here and just give me a second. Yes, this is connected now like this. तो ऐसा मुझे बहुत बार रिपीट करना पड़ेगा और बहुत सारे वायर्स हमें यूज होंगे. Okay, I'll show you. I have to again I'm using a lot of wires here. मैं यहाँ पे बहुत सारी wires use कर रहा हूँ to connect my all the LEDs. Now, this is how I have connected my positive terminal with all the LEDs. Okay, मैंने अपने सभी LEDs के positive connect कर दिए. Now, I want to connect the second part also. This is the second part. Just a second. Yes, so this is the second part. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have to connect all these ports, all these pins with the negative terminal. So मुझे बाकी के remaining pins भी ऐसे ही connect करने हैं. And you know, अगर हम इनको ऐसे ऐसे connect करेंगे, so it will take a lot of time and side by side बहुत सारा wiring हो जाएगा. There is a lot of wires if I connect. So to, like suppose if I connect like this, again if I want to connect like this, तो मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ, what I'm doing, मैं यहाँ पे सभी वायर्स को कनेक्ट कर रहा हूँ बैटरी से. ओके, like this. Now to save our time, to make it a little bit better, इसको थोड़ा सा better हम करें. अगर मैं इतनी सारी वायर्स को यूज नहीं करना चाहता हूँ, I want to make my circuit simple. So what I'll do, instead of this arrangement, इस अरेंजमेंट की जगह हम क्या करते हैं, हम ब्रेडबोर्ड का यूज करते हैं. सो ब्रेडबोर्ड अलाउज अस टू मेक आवर सर्किट सिंपल एंड इट लुक्स बेटर. ओके, बिकॉज यहाँ पे आप देख रहे हो, यहाँ पे बहुत सारा वायरिंग बहुत सारा यूज हो रहा है टू मेक दिस प्रोजेक्ट. बट इफ वी यूज ब्रेडबोर्ड, सो ब्रेडबोर्ड हेल्प्स अस टू रिड्यूस दिस काइंड ऑफ वायरिंग्स. ओके, सो अगर मैं ब्रेडबोर्ड का यूज करता हूँ तो मुझे ये सारे वायर्स यूज करने की जरूरत नहीं है. आई विल शो यू हाउ. For example, what I'll do, I'll rotate my breadboard like just a second. I'll rotate my breadboard like this. Just a second, students. Select and rotate. Okay, now I want to use LEDs, 5 LEDs again here. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Now let's suppose I want to connect these LEDs. So what I'll do, I'll use this breadboard, and this breadboard help us to reduce these wirings. Breadboard की help से हमारी इतनी सारी wirings नहीं करनी पड़ेगी. Why? Because हमारा जो breadboard है, these breadboards are connected internally. So here I'll see. Can you see here? When I put my cursor over point A point, and can you see, जैसे मैंने यहाँ पे अपना cursor रखा, see all these holes are interconnected. This green circle shows that all these holes are interconnected. And when I put my cursor over here, can you see all these greens are interconnected again here. So ऐसे हमारा और हमारे जितने भी holes हैं वो आपस में interconnected हैं. All holes are interconnected like this one. So 15 number, these 5 holes of 15 number are interconnected with each other. These 5 holes of 11 numbers are interconnected with each other. Okay, so in the similar way, if you goes from 1 to 30, all these A, B, C, D, E holes are connected with each other. Again, same way, if I says about here, like the number 1, like F, G, H, I, J, ये हमारे सारे connected है आपस में. All these holes are connected with each other inside, from inside. In the same way, if I talks about 4 number, so all these F, G, H, I, J are connected with each other. Okay, now in the same way, if can you see here the plus button? The plus means positive and the minus is negative. So when I put my cursor over here, जब मैं अपना cursor यहाँ रखूंगा, all these holes are interconnected. ये सभी holes आपस में connected है. Okay, अगर आप यहाँ पे power supply देंगे, so you can check the output here. अगर आप यहाँ पे करंट फ्लो करेंगे तो आपको आउटपुट यहाँ पे आएगा. If you put current over here, you can see the output on this hole because all these holes are interconnected. Okay, so in this here, you can see these all holes, these all horizontal holes are connected with each other. These all horizontal lines or we can say circles are connected with each other. ये पूरा complete line आपस में connected है, ये पूरा line आपस में connected है. There is no connection between these two lines. इन दोनों के बीच में कोई connection नहीं है, ये दोनों अलग अलग है. In the same way, if I say about vertical, so all these vertical lines are connected with each other. ये जितने भी lines हैं, ये आपस में connected हैं, मगर there is no connection. There is no connection between these lines. इनके बीच में कोई connection नहीं है. ठीक है? So I'm going to show you how it will work. Now, if I want to connect my LEDs, this is my cathode. I'll click on it. I'll just what I'll do. I'll just place it over here. मैंने क्या किया? मैंने इसका एक point यहाँ पे connect कर दिया. In the similar way, what I'll do, I'll connect all the cathode, मतलब all the negative pins on this minus line, on this negative line. This is the complete one line. So what I'll do, मैं क्या करने वाला हूँ? I'll just connect all these cathode negative pins on the same negative line like this. Okay, so I hope you understand. What I'm doing right now, I'm doing the connection basically. I'm just putting all these negative pins on the negative line. So it will reduce my circuiting and wiring and all. Fine. So here again, just a second. Yes. So here I'm just connecting over here. So can you see, students, all these cathode, all these negative pins are now connected on the minus negative line. Now we have one more pin that is positive. So how to connect positive? What we will do, we will click on it and we'll put it over here like this one. We'll click, we'll drag and we'll connect it over on this line. We'll click, drag over this point. Same here, this point. सबके साथ हम ऐसा ही करेंगे. हम सबको क्या कर रहे हैं? हम negative point को negative and positive pin को positive पे connect कर रहे हैं. We are connecting negative and positive on the negative line and the positive line. So here, just a second. Yes. So can you see here what I did right now? मैंने अभी तक क्या किया है? मैंने हमारे जितनी भी LEDs हैं, मैंने उनके कैथोड पिन को इस नेगेटिव लाइन पे कनेक्ट किया है, सभी को सेम, एंड जो पॉजिटिव है उनको सभी को पॉजिटिव पे कनेक्ट किया है. आई हैव कनेक्टेड ऑल द नेगेटिव पिन्स ऑन द माइनस point and all the positive pins on the positive pin. Now the time for what? Time for adding a battery. So to add a battery, what we will do, we'll go here and search BATTERY battery. So I searched a battery. I'll click 9-volt battery. I'll drag and drop a battery like this one. I'll just drop it here. Let's reduce the size. इसका size थोड़ा छोटा कर लेते हैं. और and what I will do, we'll put it here. हम इसको यहाँ रखेंगे. And I will rotate it. मैं इसको थोड़ा घुमाऊंगा so that इसका जो pin है वो इस side आ जाए. I'll rotate this battery so that I can easily connect my circuit with this. So here what I'll do, I'll select and I'll rotate. So now it's look perfect. Now what we'll do, we have two terminals, positive and negative. So what we'll do, we'll connect the negative with this point and we'll connect positive with this point. So this is how we have connected our battery with all the LEDs. Okay, now how to test? If you want to test, आपसे test करना चाहते हैं, तो how to check my battery will work or not? So for that, what we will do, हम क्या करेंगे बैटरी को चेक करने के लिए? We'll click on the simulator वाला part. This is the simulation. You can click on the start simulation and you can see your LEDs goes burst. हमारी LEDs खराब हो गई. Can you see this picture? Why? ये क्यों खराब हो गई हैं? Because the power of a battery is 9 volt. This is so huge. The power of battery is 9 volt. And here we have used a LED that is having very low voltage power. Means हमारी जो LEDs होती है ना, इनका जो voltage power होता है वो पॉइंट में होता है, मतलब 0.3 0.2 ऐसा होता है, एंड 9 वोल्ट बैटरी इज सो हाई, सो दैट्स व्हाई इट डैमेजेस आवर एलईडीज. नाउ हाउ कैन वी रिड्यूस दिस, हम इसे कैसे सेव कर सकते हैं, हाउ वी कैन सेव आवर सर्किट्स, हाउ वी कैन सेव आवर एलईडीज, है ना. सो टू सेव आवर एलईडीज we will use a resistor. So what is a resistor? Resistor is basically helps to resistor is basically it's a kind of it's a basically component that reduce the power, that reduce the voltage, or we can say that reduce the current. So how we can use this? We will remove this pin from here. First we will stop this, हम इसको stop करेंगे project को, और इसके पहले हम what I will do, हम यहाँ से wire को remove कर देते हैं. We will remove this wire from here. Okay, just a second. I'll remove this wire, and now what I'll do, I'll add a resistor also here. So to add a resistor, we will search resistor. So can you see here, it's a resistor. So we'll use a resistor. So how resistor work, students, it's your homework. You have to search about resistor, you have to Google about resistor, how resistor work, or how resistor helps in controlling the flow of current. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to add a resistor in this circuit. So resistor have no terminals, there is no positive or negative in the resistor. Resistor के कभी कोई terminals नहीं होते, कोई positive negative नहीं होता, just okay. Now I'll click and put it here, and I'll click and I'll put it here. So can you see I have used a resistor. Now let's see, will it work? क्या हमारा एलईडी काम करेगा? हमने जैसे रजिस्टर को लगाया है, रजिस्टर अब क्या कर रहा है, हमारे करंट को थोड़ा सा कम कर रहा है, फ्लो को कम कर रहा है. Now let's see how it will work. So I'll click start simulator. So can you see LEDs are now LED, you can see there's a little काफी बहुत ही हल्का सा जला है. It's a like glow, but not like उसका intensity is very low because I have used a high power of resistor. So when I click on stop, you can see lights off. When I say start, lights on. जब मैंने start किया तो मेरा जो बल्ब है बहुत ही हल्का सा जला, and जब मैं इसको stop करता हूँ it will stops, है ना, it will stops. So basically the use of resistor is just to control the current that is flowing from the circuit. ठीक है. Now students, yes, so I can see in the chat box there are a lot of okay. Okay, fine. I'll hide just a second. I'll put it down now. So what we will do here, I have used a resistor, so that helps us in controlling the flow of current. Resistor से क्या होता है, ये हमारे current को कम करता है. Okay, then we have actually we have a different kinds of resistor. We called resistor क्या होते हैं, different values. Like you can use any resistor with having different values. Values means the same. If you want a resistor that is having low value, that means your current will flow at a higher level. अगर आप lower value का resistance use करते हैं तो आपका current ज़्यादा flow करेगा, और अगर आप ज़्यादा value का resistor use करते हैं तो आपका जो current है वो low flow करेगा. If you use a resistor of very high value, then your current will flow very less, because there is a formula for this which we call it Ohm's law. है ना? So here
Neeraj sir,
basically,
Neeraj
yes,
sir, before we
yes.
proceed with the Ohm's law details
Yes,
about
yes.
it, there are a couple of questions here. So what is the connection of LED in the breadboard, sir? Is it a positive to positive or negative to positive?
Okay. So I'll show you actually. So students, yes. So students, can you see here? We have two terminals, cathode and anode. Okay, so we called it anode is a positive, cathode is a negative. All right. Now, if I say negative, I have connected this negative pin to the negative pin of a breadboard. And now the negative pin of breadboard is connected to the negative terminal of a battery. That means I have connected my battery's negative pin to the negative of a LED. Okay, so in the same way, I have connected my positive pin of my battery to the positive pin of a breadboard, and in the positive breadboard pin is connected to the anode pin. Okay, So this is how we have connected. We have connected positive to positive, negative to negative. Yes. Any other questions, viewers? I think viewers are on the YouTube. So if you have any doubt,
Yes.
yes.
There's another question. Uh, do we use always breadboard, or I was actually speaking about PCB, no? So there is a little confusion, I guess. So how breadboard is different from PCB is the question.
Yes. So basically, if I talks about PCB, अगर मैं PCB की बात करता हूँ, you have seen in PCB you can design your circuit. I'll show you an example. I'll show you some picture of a PCB basically. So those students who are new here, can you see some pictures? So this is called PCB, printed circuit board. Basically, why we use PCB? If I want to make a circuit that is specially designed for a special purpose, हम किसी special purpose के लिए कुछ कोई हमें कोई chip design करना है. For example, we have a remote. In the remote, you have seen there is a green color chip in which you can see these are some tracking lines are there. So basically, we design PCB for some special purpose, right? Like suppose if I want to make a AC air conditioner, I have to design my chip for a particular AC पर्पस. मुझे अगर AC के लिए कुछ AC जो हमारे घर में होता है उनके अंदर भी आप ग्रीन कलर का कार्ड देखेंगे, that is also designed just for controlling the monitoring, just for controlling the temperature inside the room. तो वो स्पेशल उसी पर्पस के लिए होता है. Now if you are in the learning phase, आप एक learning phase में हैं, and if you want to learn, you are a beginner, and if you want to learn about the circuits, how these lines are designed, ये क्यों बनाया गया है, इसका क्या यूज है, so वो सब हम ब्रेडबोर्ड पे ट्राई करते हैं. So breadboard is just for learning. Okay. If I'll show you breadboard. So this is the breadboard. Basically, this is why we use breadboard, just to understand about the concepts ki how series parallel circuits are working, kaise ye ban raha hai. If you want to learn more about more complex circuits, so you can use this one. But at the final stage, if I say ki jab hum ek final product banate hain ya hum final stage pe jate hain, then we can design this PCB which is more complex as compared to breadboard. So that's a basic difference. Basically, as per the student's view, you can use it for your learning purpose, but for manufacturing or for any other industrial purpose, you can use this PCB. So there's a process. If you want to design this PCB, अगर आप इसे बनाना चाहते हैं, there are some different softwares like Proteus, and there are कुछ अलग-अलग softwares है हमारे market में, और open tools भी हैं जिस पे आप इसको design कर सकते हो. And it's a process how to design this chip. Okay. So in your school level, if you are working with breadboard, you can understand this. When you are perfect, आपको अच्छे से समझ में आ गया about circuits and all, then you can go for PCB designing also. In ATL lab, we have some bare PCBs जहाँ पे आप उनको बना सकते हैं. You can create your own PCB layout. Okay. Yes. Yes.
Neeraj, we'll have 2-3 more questions here. So the next question is, the positive and the negative rails, how are they different from the strips below? So in a breadboard, I think the question is the positive and the negative rail that you see, the power rails, how are they different from the rows or the strips that we have?
Okay. So basically, students, there is no difference actually. The thing is, these lines are not interconnected with each other. If I'll make it a zoom, you can see when I put my cursor over here, can you see a green line? So this green line shows that all the holes, all these points are connected with each other, but there is no interconnection between these two lines. These two lines are independent. There is no connection. If you want to make this line as a negative, if you want to use these complete holes as a negative, so you can just put your negative pin here, and you can see the output of negative pin. You can use these holes as a negative. So there is no interconnection. Side by side, if I say this strip, can you see this strip? So this strip means it's basically used for division. So here you can see these 5 lines have no connection with these 5 lines. So these are the independent 5 dots. These are the 5 independent dots. For a better example, I'll show you. Let's suppose these are the 5 pots or 5 holes basically. If I drop some water over here, so you can see the drops of water. You can see the water on this hole, this hole, this hole, this hole. So this is like a pipeline. if I for example आपको मैं अच्छे बैटर से समझाता हूँ. So this is basically a pipeline. अगर आप यहाँ पे पानी डालेंगे तो आपको यहाँ 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 और यहाँ पे आपको water मिलेगा, but आपको यहाँ पे कुछ नहीं दिखेगा. Why so? Because these are interconnected. So in the same way, अगर आप यहाँ पे कोई power supply देते हैं, if you put a positive or negative pin over here, so you can check the positive or negative over in only these 5 lines. So in the similar way, this all have no interconnection with each other. Only these green dots have interconnected with each other. Okay, so in the similar way, we have, again, it's a copy basically. जो आप यहाँ पे देख रहे हैं वही उसी का duplicate ये है. Okay, so this is how it works. Yes.
Neeraj, the next question is, sir, what should I do when there is not enough space on my breadboard for all the components that I want to use?
Yes, yes. So on that case, what you will do, we have one more here breadboard, which is called mega breadboard. Just a second, BREAD. Can you see here breadboard, small and breadboard? So here, this one is the biggest breadboard that you can use to design your circuits. So this is how you can use. Even students, if you think that this is not enough, अगर आपको लगता है ये enough नहीं है, आप और बड़ा बनाना चाहते हैं, you can use one more breadboard over here like this. And what you have to do, just interconnect with each other like this. If I'll say like a one like this, so this is how you can connect boards with each other. Okay. For example, I'll show you. मैंने इनको आपस में connect कर दिया है. And let's suppose if I use a battery over here. Let's delete all these lines. Just a second. We'll delete all these lines from here. So if I use this point like negative. Just a second. So if I want to use this as a negative, and if I'm sorry, yes, so here one more point like this. So I have connected my battery negative point to this, positive point to this. So you can check the output at this point here. You can check the output at this point. So I did here, I just connected these two breadboards with these two wires. So basically these are the wires actually. Okay, so this is how you can connect multiple n number of breadboards if you want to make a large circuit.
Okay, Neeraj, there are a couple of more questions here. Sir, why can't we add resistor to the negative terminal? Because you were showing positive terminal, we were connecting a resistor. So why not to a negative resistor is the question.
Yes. So basically, students, if you have learned about circuits, closed circuit, open circuit. So resistor is a component which is having no terminal. There is no positive or negative. So if you want to use this resistor over here, so you can use, just search resistor, RESISTOR, and you can use over here also, because it's a non-terminal. There is no positive or negative points over here. So you can use either, if you want to use over here, you can. If you want to use over here, you can. There is no limitation that we have to use only in positive. Okay, like if I say an example of a water pipeline, we have a I'll show you for better clear. Water of course, I'll try. If I'll show you how I think I have to use my board actually. I'll do one thing at the end. I'll explain you how to connect. Yes.
Neeraj, there are other questions as well. So the question is, what is the easiest way to calculate resistance value?
Yes. So easiest way, students, if you want to calculate value of resistor, there are some formulas, there are some calculator actually. So just write RESISTOR, resistor, CALCULATOR. आपको क्या करना है? What you have to do, just search resistor calculator, and there's a calculator, online calculator, where what you have to do, आपको करना क्या है? You have to put some your values, resistor value. For example, if you have a resistor component, you can see we have some bands. Bands means color band, like 1, 2, 3, 4. So it depends ki which kind of resistor you are using. Actually, in the market, we have resistors of having 3 bands, 4 band, 5 band. So these bands signifies that the number of the value of that resistor. For example, I'll show you an example also. RESISTOR, resistor color code calculator. This is the resistor color code calculator. ये हमारा color code है. This is the chart. By using this chart, you can understand which color signifies which the what we say is the tolerance or the value of that. For example, if your resistor value, if your resistor shows just a second now. Yes, can you see here in this, can you see here the green color, the blue color, yellow color, the golden color? Basically, by using these colors, we can understand the value, the value of that component. इस color के हिसाब से हम समझ सकते हैं कि resistor का कितना value है. For example, this first band shows green, so green means that is 5. Okay, the first band is green, that is 5. The another is blue, blue means 6. So 56 multiply by then yellow is 4. 56 multiply by 4. So this is how we can calculate. Or even if you don't know about this formula, what you will do, just understand the color number. Like green is 5, blue is 6, yellow is 4. 5, 6, 4. We'll go over here, we'll select the first one is green, second is the second one is blue, second is blue, the third is green, and the fourth is golden, I guess. Okay, golden means tolerance. So just select over here and search. Oh, just a second. I think it's a website. It's not a calculator, I guess. I'll do one thing. I'll click over here. So depend on how many bands you are using. You are using 4 band resistor, you are using 5 band resistor, 6 band. आप जितने band वाला band मतलब आप जितने bands वाला resistor use कर रहे हो, आप यहाँ से अपना calculate कर सकते हैं. All right. I think this is it's not a calculator, it's a website where you can buy the resistor, but there are a lot of websites जहाँ से आप calculate कर सकते हैं. Give me a minute. This one. This is a resistor calculator. यहाँ से आप calculate कर सकते हैं your values. Okay, so already students, a lot of websites are there who provides you how to calculate, and even there is some formulas, there are some tutorial also you can check on the Google, जहाँ पे आप अपना इसको सीख सकते हैं. You can understand how to calculate values, how to, or even if you know the value of a resistor. Let's suppose if someone says that the value of this resistor is 47 kilo ohm, then you can find out the color also. It is vice versa. अगर आपको resistance की value पता है तो आप उससे color भी find out कर सकते हो by using the same table. Okay, by using the same table, you can find out the color also. Yes, I hope you got my answer.
Yes, yes. This one. Yes, please go ahead with
Yes.
Ohm's law, Neeraj. We were at Ohm's
Yes.
law, and a lot of questions were coming in, so I had to interrupt you. Please go ahead.
Yes. So basically in Ohm's law, students, if I says there's a formula actually. V is equals to IR. V means voltage, I is current, and R is resistance. So voltage, for example, I'll show you. So let's suppose there's a water tank on the top floor, in your house, in your flat. There's a water tank which is having a water. It's containing a water. Okay, I'll show you with the. Just give me a second. I'll explain you with my. Just a second. Just give me 1 minute. Oh, I'm sorry. Just give me 1 minute. I'll explain you how to use this one. I'm just turning on my notepad. So I'll explain you actually how it works. This one. So students, I hope my screen is visible to all of you. Now basically how it work. And how, what is the difference between V is equals to IR? I'll just give me a minute. So can you see my screen? I hope my screen is visible to all of you. So basically how it works, if I talks about a battery, right? A battery means if there's a circuit, this is my circuit, and there's a bulb. Okay, there's a bulb, and then we have, this is a battery cell. It's a cell, and this is how it connected. So this is the negative part, this is the positive part, and we called it V as a voltage. Okay, now if I want to glow my bulb, अगर मुझे अपनी LED को on करना है, what I have to do, मुझे क्या करना पड़ेगा, I have to connect a switch also. मुझे यहाँ पे switch भी connect करना है, so I'll add a switch. I called it switch. ठीक है, so whenever I connect my switch, whenever make it on, जब मैं इसे on करूंगा मेरा बल्ब हो जाएगा glow. ओके, एंड जब इसको मैं ऑफ करूंगा, ये क्या होगा, हमारा बल्ब जो है वो ऑफ हो जाएगा. सो दिस इज कॉल्ड, बेसिकली वी कॉल्ड इट ओपन सर्किट, और ओपन सर्किट और क्लोज सर्किट. क्लोज सर्किट, I'll write CKT. Okay, CKT. So we have two things. The one is the open circuit, the second is the closed circuit. So when we call it open circuit, हम इसे open circuit कब बोलेंगे, जब हमारा switch open होगा. When our switch is open, we call it open circuit, and when our switch is closed, we call it closed circuit. Now, what is the difference between Ohm's law? V is equals to IR. If I says V is equals to IR, how V matlab voltage, V is voltage, I is current, and R is resistance. Okay, now how VIR actually working? यहाँ पे VIR कैसे काम कर रहा है? I'll show you. Basically, V is nothing. I'll show an example. Let's suppose there's a water tank on the top floor. There's a water tank on the top of the floor. There's a building. Let's suppose it's a building. There's a building, and here we have a water tank. Okay, and in the water tank, let's suppose there's a water, the water is completely full. The water is completely full. Okay, now in the same way, we have a pipeline also. We have a pipeline inside our floor. Let's suppose there's a pipeline. This is the pipeline. Just give me a second. Just a second now. How to hide this one? So I'll show you. So let's suppose there's a pipeline. Okay, now tell me one thing. Let's suppose there's a tap also. There's a water tap, and here we have a bucket. We have a bucket. Now students, let me know. Let's suppose if the water is completely full. Okay, you will answer in the chat box. If the water is completely full, and what will be the flow of the water inside here? यहाँ पे जो पानी का flow है वो कैसा रहेगा अगर हमारा water बिल्कुल full है? अगर water बहुत ज़्यादा है, we have a lot of water inside it. So what will be the flow of the water over here? It will be fast or slow? I'll check in the comment box. लेट मी नो, आप मुझे बताइए अगर हमारा वाटर टैंक बिल्कुल फुल है, तो यहाँ पे पानी का फ्लो का स्पीड क्या होगा, बहुत हाई और लो. द स्पीड ऑफ द वाटर ओवर हियर इन द टैप, व्हाट विल बी द स्पीड? इट विल बी हाई और लो. हियर it will be high because the pressure is too much over here, because the water is completely full. The water is completely full, the flow of the water is high, so the pressure will be higher over here. In the same way, जब हमारा जो वाटर लेवल है वो डाउन होने लगेगा, जब वाटर हमारा कम होने लगेगा, so यहाँ पे प्रेशर भी क्या होगा, पानी का कम हो जाएगा, है ना. When the water level goes down, then the flow of the water will automatically decrease. So let's understand, this is called voltage. This is called a power bank or voltage inside a battery. This is the wire in a circuit, and this is the current. This is the current. Let's understand with an example. This is current, this is wire, this is voltage. So as the voltage is high, the current is also high. Okay, as the voltage goes down, the flow of current goes down. Similarly, the value of current is also down. So current completely depends on the voltage. Okay, so here, if I take example of V is equals to I R, or if I says V is I is directly proportional to, just a second, R. So when the voltage increase, current increase. R is constant. So for example, I'll show you one more example over here. You have a battery. आपके पास एक battery है. There's a battery called plus and minus. Okay. जब तक battery में power है, just a second. So we have battery that is connected with a terminal like this. Then there's a fan. There is a fan. Okay, there's a fan, and the second point is connected over here. So जब तक बैटरी में पावर है हमारा फैन चलता रहेगा, और जैसे ही बैटरी का वोल्टेज डाउन हो गया, मतलब बैटरी का वोल्टेज फिनिश हो गया, हमारे फैन की स्पीड कम हो गई. स्पीड कम क्यों हुई? बिकॉज द करंट इज ग्रेजुअली डिक्रीजिंग. हमारा करंट जो है धीरे धीरे खत्म होता जा रहा है, बिकॉज हमारा पावर जो है वो भी धीरे धीरे फिनिश होता जा रहा है. सो दिस इज हाउ करंट डिपेंड्स ऑन वोल्टेज, डिपेंड्स ऑन करंट, या वी कैन से करंट डिपेंड्स ऑन वोल्टेज. एंड व्हाट इज द रोल ऑफ आर? आर का क्या रोल है? आर इज लाइक अ ब्रेकर. आपने रोड पे जब आप ट्रेवल करते हैं, आप जब whenever you travel on the roads, there is a car. So whenever a speed breaker appears, जब भी कोई speed breaker आता है, what we do? We always decrease our speed. We always decrease our speed of our car. Why so? Because there is a breaker. So in the similar way, resistance, it is also act as a breaker in the circuit. What resistor do? Resistor always decrease the flow of current. Resistor always decrease the flow of current. I am denoting I as a current. So resistor always decrease the flow of current. It always controls it in the circuit. Let's suppose if there's a circuit, this is the circuit, and here is the current, that is I. Okay, so what resistor do? This is a symbol of resistor. So what resistor do all the time? It always decrease the speed or flow of current. Okay, and how resistor work? Basically, resistor is a component having some bands, 1, 2, 3, 4. Here are some colorful bands. Okay, and there is no terminal in the resistor. There is no positive or negative. Okay, now if I want to connect, if I suppose I have a resistor of 1 ohm, I have a resistor of 100 ohm, or I have a resistor of 1000 ohm. Okay, now in the 1 ohm, current flows at its maximum speed because the speed breaker is so small, the value of resistor is so small, so the current will flow at a high speed. But in the same way, if I use the resistor of 100 ohm, then the current will reduce gradually because the value of the speed breaker is too high. है ना? Again in the same way, if I use, अगर मैं यहाँ पे use करता हूँ 1000 ohm resistor, so the value will बिल्कुल छोटा सा, बहुत कम current flow करेगा. For example, if I have a road breaker like this, I have a road breaker like this, and I use another, I have a road breaker like this. So obviously बात, if there is a car, उसका speed बहुत कम हो जाएगा यहाँ पे car का speed बहुत ज्यादा रहेगा, और यहाँ पे car का speed बहुत ही ज्यादा रहेगा. So it depends on the value of resistor. जितना है ना, both are inversely proportional. Resistor is inversely proportional to current. Current का value कम है तो resistor का value ज्यादा. This is the formula actually. If you have learned in your subjects, I think you have learned that both are inversely proportional, but on the same time, है ना? So this is how current, voltage, resistors depend on each other. In the circuit also, you can use resistor, depends on the need, like which type of voltage or current you are dealing with. आप किस तरह का current और voltage आप use कर रहे हैं, depends on that circuit. So I hope students, this helps you to understand the basic function of voltage, current, resistor, and the same thing we use in our circuits also in the breadboard. In the breadboard, same thing we use whenever I use this kind of arrangements. जब भी हम यूज करते हैं, just a second, just a second. Yes, so any other question? I hope this question helps you, I guess.
Yes, Neeraj.
Yes.
One more question we have. I guess this is a repetitive question again, which we've already taken up. Sir, does this make any difference if we take different color wires?
Okay. No. See, students, if you are using different color wires, basically we use different color wire just to understand ourselves which color is for which purpose. Na? If you are connecting different sensors, so you can use particular color for particular sensors. Let's suppose you are using an ultrasonic sensor, then you can use blue wire. If you are using an LED, you can use green wire. So it's just to understand. खाली समझने के लिए हम color change करते हैं. There is no we can say कोई ऐसा color change करने से कोई problem नहीं होगा. Okay. And I guess in your ATL lab, you have seen jumper wire also. Jumper wire with different colors. If I'll search here jumper wire, you have seen jumper wire with different colors. So just to understand, for make it better clear ki which color is denotes for which component. So just you can use any color. It is kind of similar we use in our ATL lab. So these wires are just, we are in the simulation, we are using these color wires. Yes. I think my breadboard stuck here. Yes. Any other question, students? Or
no, Neeraj. There are a lot of answers like V is equals to voltage, yes, fast, no. So all they were responding, but there are no specific questions as of now.
All right. Okay. So students, now what I'll do, I'll give in a homework also. You have to find out some kinds of circuit, like how many types of circuit we use in our home. In our home, you have seen there are a lot of circuits than electrician do. So can you find out in the Google, or you can ask to your friends also, you can ask your ATL in charge also about the types of circuit. Okay, and what is the difference between these kinds of circuit? Like, I'll give an example. You have noticed that in the Diwali time or in the any festival season, we use LEDs, we use some kind of lights for decoration, right? And when we use these kind of LEDs or lights for decoration, have you ever noticed that when one bulb from that series gets diffused or gets broken, then you have noticed that the complete series, जो हमारा पूरा LED का पूरा decoration जो LEDs आती हैं, अगर उसका एक part break हो जाए, so उसका सारा का सारा bulb हमारा खराब हो जाता है. Have you ever noticed? So why it happens? वो ऐसा क्यों होता है? And which kind of circuit we are using over there? So you have to find out. That's your homework, and I hope if you know, you can comment in your comment section also. आप यहाँ पे answer कर सकते हैं. And the second homework is you have to observe कि in our home which type of connection we are using, or which type of connection we are using in our home, or which one is better. You have to find out which one is better, either a parallel or a series. Which one is better? You have to find out. Okay, now I hope I think I can see here. Yes, so you can write your answer also if you know. Now can we go for another activity, or?
Yeah, Neeraj, please go ahead.
Yes. So students, let's understand about some components over here. We have some components. Can you see in this in this option? I am sliding this, and can you see where we have a lot of components inside this? So if you want to use basic components, you can just select basic here. just select basic and just scroll it down, and you can see there are a lot of components. Basically we call it e components. Why so? Because in the covid time, abhi covid jo hamara chal raha hai, and we are not able to access our ATL lab. हमारे पास ATL lab access करने का हमें full permission नहीं है. So at our home, or even if you are participating in any competition, you can use this website also for your participation. Now here these are the e components. These are the components जिसको आप completely same to same रियल कंपोनेंट की तरह यूज कर सकते हैं. ओके, जस्ट इसको आप टच नहीं कर सकते. यू कांट फील दिस वन, यू कांट टच दिस वन, बट यस यू कैन यूज दिस components on your software. Now how you can use, I'll explain it one by one. So here students, as I've already mentioned some kind of components, that is resistor, LED, जिसके बारे में मैंने आपको बता दिया है कैसे इसको यूज करना है. Then we have a button also, we call it push button. Have you ever seen this push button in your day-to-day life, in your real आपने कहीं इसको use किया है? Have you ever used this kind of buttons? I think in some device like in some remotes you have used this one, or in the audio player, music player, I think you have used this kind of push button, where what you have to do, you just have to push this black color. आपने अपने म्यूजिक सिस्टम में, रिमोट में आपने इस बटन को कहीं देखा भी होगा, जहाँ पे जस्ट आपको उसको पुश करना होता है. पुश करके अपने चैनल को चेंज कर सकते हैं. यू कैन चेंज योर चैनल, यू कैन इंक्रीज और डिक्रीज द वॉल्यूम. आप आवाज भी कम ज्यादा कर सकते हैं, है ना. सो इसका जो यूज है एक्चुअल में, हाउ इट एक्ट एज अ स्विच. ये जस्ट एक स्विच है जिसकी हेल्प से आप सिग्नल सेंड कर सकते हैं. एक सर्किट में आप बता सकते हैं कि आप कुछ चेंजेस करना चाहते हैं, यू वांट टू चेंज समथिंग. ओके, सो हियर यू कैन आल्सो यूज दिस पुश बटन इन योर सर्किट आल्सो. लेट्स सपोज अगर आप यहाँ पे कोई प्रोजेक्ट बना रहे हैं, यू वांट कि व्हेनेवर आई पुश द बटन देन माय सर्किट विल स्टार्ट वर्किंग. जब भी मैं पुश बटन दबाऊं तब मेरा सर्किट स्टार्ट होना चाहिए. सो उसके लिए यू कैन यूज दिस बटन. Moreover, here we have some more components over here, that is called potentiometer. Potentiometer is basically, it's a kind of variable resistor. Variable resistor means which varies. You can change the value of this resistor. Like here, I'll show you. In this is a resistor. We call it resistor where you can't change the value. It's a जो इसकी value हो बिल्कुल fixed है. For example, if the value of this resistor is 47 ohm, so you can't change the value because it is fixed. It's a basically it's a kind of hard ceramic component. इसका value fix है, उसको change नहीं कर सकते. But here if I want to use this one, I can change the value. It can vary. So here you can change the value by changing the numbers. If I want to use it as a 100 kilo ohm, 100 ohm, can you see here? You can choose any value. Picometer, nanometer, micrometer, ohm, kilo ohm, mega ohm. So you can use any unit. Okay, so basically this will help you to, if you want to make a circuit but you have no more components as a resistor, then you can create your own resistor value from by using this one. आप इससे खुद का अपना रजिस्टर बना सकते हैं. आपको जैसा भी रिक्वायरमेंट है आप इसकी वैल्यू को चेंज कर लीजिए और उसके हिसाब से आप इसको चेंज कर सकते हैं इनकी नंबर्स को. Now again here I'll show you some more examples. Now this is called capacitor. Capacitor is a kind of a, we can say it's a kind of a battery, a small battery, okay, which stores your power, which stores your voltage. Okay, I think in your home you have seen आपके घर में inverter होंगे, right? What inverter do? Inverter basically stores some kind of power. हमारा जो इन्वर्टर वो क्या करता है, कुछ है ना बैटरी में कुछ थोड़ी देर के लिए पावर को कंज्यूम करता है. So in the same way we use capacitor. Basically capacitor holds some kind of energy. Now how it work? Here capacitor is similar to resistor, but the difference is only resistor always oppose the flow of current. Resistor always oppose the flow of current. Resistor हमारा हमेशा करंट को कंट्रोल करता है, बट कैपेसिटर करंट को कंट्रोल नहीं करता. कैपेसिटर जस्ट स्टोर द एनर्जी. For example, in your home, you have noticed there is a capacitor inside your fan. आपके घर में आपने देखा होगा जो फैन होते हैं उसके अंदर भी एक व्हाइट कलर का कैपेसिटर हम लगा हुआ होता है. What that capacitor do? It always stores some kind of power. So है ना, वो हमेशा कुछ पावर को स्टोर करके रखता है फैन के पास जो कैपेसिटर लगा है. एंड हाउ इट वर्क? whenever you turn on the fan, जब भी आप फैन को ऑन करते हैं, देन कैपेसिटर स्टोर सम एनर्जी, और जब आप कैपेसिटर फैन को ऑफ करते हैं तो थोड़ी देर के लिए आपका फैन चलता रहता है. Why so? Just because of that capacitor, because वो कुछ पावर को स्टोर करता है, वो सडनली हमारे फैन को बंद नहीं होने देता. क्यों नहीं होने देता? जैसे हमारा फैन जो है वो उसको कुछ मतलब खराब ना हो, उसको थोड़ा देर ना उसको धीरे धीरे उसको ऑफ करने के लिए थोड़ा थोड़ा पावर उसके अंदर रहता है, ताकि वो स्लोली स्लोली फैन को वो बंद करे. सडनली बंद करेंगे तो फैन एकदम से खराब ना हो. दैट्स व्हाई वी यूज द कैपेसिटर. नाउ हियर वी हैव डिफरेंट काइंड्स ऑफ कैपेसिटर. Capacitor means we have different types of capacitor based on their value: picofarad, nanofarad, microfarad, है ना, farad, kilofarad. So these are the units. So here again, if you are using a capacitor with having very low value, that means it stores very low energy. And when you use capacitor of very high value, that is in megafarad, gigafarad, that means it stores a value of very high. It stores a very high much power. Okay, so that's the use of capacitor. For more information, even you can Google, you can YouTube. There are a lot of tutorials. There are a lot of videos on internet where you can learn more about the capacitor and where we use capacitor. Basically, if I says in the breadboard, in the PCB, here we also use capacitor, and there are a lot of capacitors in the market. Not only the capacitor which looks like this one. I'll show you some more capacitors. We called it. Can you see here? This green color, basically these are the resistors. These are the resistors, and this is also a resistor. So resistor comes in different resistors basically क्या है कि not only कि हमें resistor एक ही तरह का लगेगा जिसमें color bands होते हैं, ये भी हमारे resistor ही एक kind of resistor है जिसको हम बहुत ही mini resistors बोलते हैं. Okay, and I'll show you or more. This is also resistor 1R00. These are also resistors which we use in PCBs, and I'll show you some capacitors also. We have some capacitors over here. Just a second. I'll show you some more examples of capacitors. CAPACITORS. Students, one more thing. Capacitor is a kind of device जहाँ पे उनकी polarity भी होती है. We have plus and minus is also there in capacitor. For example, I'll show you. In the resistor, can you see here? These are the two pins, the longer one and the shorter one. The longer is called positive pin. The shorter one is called negative pin. Okay. In capacitor, we have polarities, but in resistor, we don't have polarities. Okay. And these are some pictures of capacitor. Can you see here? These are some different kinds of capacitor based on the material they have designed. वो किस चीज पे बने हैं उस पे डिपेंड करता है. Like this is called ceramic capacitor. This is called electrolyte capacitor. Okay, so these are the different capacitor based on their chemical bonding, किस चीज पे बना है ना. And you can see here 1000, that is microfarad. This is the value of that capacitor. So it depends on कि आप हमारा जो capacitor हम कौन सा use कर रहे हैं. And in the market there are a lot of capacitor. Not only this one, we have variable capacitor. We have capacitor based on the capacity of कि वो कितना heat वो कितने temperature पे वो काम कर सकता है. तो काफी सारे अलग-अलग factors पे भी capacitor बनते हैं. All right. Can you see here different colorful capacitors? So जो इनको बनाते हैं manufacturers, they made on their कि उसको कहाँ पे use करना है. कोल्ड रीजन में यूज करना है, हॉट रीजन में यूज करना है, तो इनका अपना अलग अलग टेम्परेचर के हिसाब से भी ये बनाते हैं. ओके, एंड द मेन यूज ऑफ कैपेसिटर इज जस्ट टू स्टोर द एनर्जी. ओके, सी हियर इन द सर्किट्स in the PCB, these are also a capacitor. This brown color, green color, these are also a capacitor. All right, so this is the use. But if you want to understand how to calculate the value of a capacitor, then again there's a formula, there's a calculator for this also. So I'll show you how to calculate, but I'll show you some more examples, some live examples where we use. See, these are also capacitors. I'll just give me a second. Yes, so if you want to find out the calculator calculator for CAPACITOR, calculator for capacitor. So here you can use the calculator if you want to use in series, if you want to use in parallel. It depends on basically. Okay, so एक्चुअली देयर इज अ लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स. यहाँ पे बहुत सारी चीजें हैं कैपेसिटर से रिलेटेड. लाइक अगर आप बहुत सारे कैपेसिटर्स को यूज करते हैं एक साथ, तो आप अपनी पावर को डबल कर सकते हैं। पावर को डबल कैसे करना है वो सब हम सीखेंगे, बट इन सीरीज इन पैरेलल। यस, जस्ट अ सेकंड स्टूडेंट्स।
Neeraj sir, you're not audible.
Done. So students, I think I have just मैंने कुछ ज़्यादा ही आपको डिटेल में बताया about this, but yes, there are a lot of things, batteries, then we have breadboard that we have already mentioned, and then we have an Arduino which is also a microcontroller. ये एक microcontroller है जिसको आप इसको आप use कर सकते हैं for making your projects even online or offline. Okay, then we have a microbit. It is also a kind of board जहाँ पे आप अपना programming कर सकते हैं, and even you can use it over जिसमें आप अपने projects बना सकते हैं. Okay, then we have some other components like vibration motor, DC motor. DC motor is such a component जो हम daily life में आपने देखा ही होगा. In the toy you have used a DC motor जिसको आप break करके अपनी कार को motor आप use करते हो with a battery, है ना? And when you change the terminals you can see the clockwise and anti-clockwise direction. So ये भी आप यहाँ पे try कर सकते हैं. Then here we have such more components like LED RGB जहाँ पे आप different colorful LEDs glow कर सकते हैं. Then we have some kind of diode. Diode is basically a kind of a gate. इसके बारे में हम आगे पढ़ेंगे depth में. Then we have photoresistor. Basically photoresistor is a kind of sensor जिसके बारे में हम कल पढ़ने वाले हैं in depth कि ये sensors क्या होते हैं, कैसे work करते हैं. And then we have some kind of more sensors over here, ultrasonic, PIR, जिससे आप अच्छे projects बना सकते हैं और अपने competition में participate कर सकते हैं. All right, so these are the components. If you want to learn more, then we have a lot of things. अगर आप all में जाते हैं, you will select all, basic, Arduino, microbit. आप यहाँ से और ज़्यादा डिटेल में आप पढ़ सकते हैं. So I hope this one is clear to all of you, and I hope if you have any doubt, what you can do, even you can write in the chat box, or you can connect with us. You can ask your questions tomorrow in the morning sharp. Okay, so yes, so
Neeraj,
over to you.
Yeah, Neeraj, before you conclude, there are 2-3 questions more. Sir, if I am done with the project, how to create a new project? If they want to go to a new canvas, I guess they're asking for a question again.
Yes. So students, can you see this one, Tinkercad? Just click this one. And here's the option for create new circuit. Create new circuit, click this one, and you can open a new project, a new template, or new canvas over here, and then start creating your new project. Okay.
Okay, Neeraj, the other question was, sir, how to select all the LEDs in one go?
How to select all LEDs in one go? All LED means, just a second, I'll open my previous project. You want to select all LEDs like this one?
Yeah.
Okay. Tinker this. Just a second, I'll do that. Yes. So do one thing, click just a second, students. I think I have to try this one. Actually, I have never selected all the LEDs together, but might be there will be an option for selecting all.
Control.
Yes.
Just try
control.
with
Yes. Just a second. Actually, I did control, but on the when I click control plus, I'm selecting, but it's not working, I guess.
Control Alt will work out.
Control
Students, there are shortcuts. If you don't
yes,
want,
there are shortcuts.
yeah,
Yes. So
If
Yeah, can go.
if they don't want shortcuts, they can just select all the screen, entire screen, just dragging the screen from one portion to the other, it will select all of that. See, he's
Yes.
able to move that. So if you want either LEDs or if you want any portion, you can select them and you can move it. If you want to select, there are options like Control Alt, you can use them and you can do that. Neeraj, there is a
Yes.
one more question. Sir, how to read voltage? Is there any, I think they are connecting it with the multimeter that I've spoken about. So
Yes,
how
yes,
to
yes.
measure it online? On an online platform, how to measure the voltage of this batteries, different batteries we have been using. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So students, you can use this option, multimeter. This is the multimeter where you can check the power of your battery, or even if you want to check a power of a DC or any other component, you can use this component over here. So this is how multimeter is basically used to measure the power. Even not only the power, you can measure different aspects. Like if you want to check resistor, if you want to check the power value of a resistor or a capacitor, you can use this one, multimeter. Yes.
So I hope students, you got to learn the different ways of connecting virtual circuits and checking how the output turns out to be. And once you are done with the simulations, definitely you can go ahead and you can create a physical model of it. मतलब ये कि अगर आपका सर्क्यूट अच्छे से काम कर रहा है टिंकरकैड पे, उसके बाद हम जाएंगे, हम लैब से मटेरियल लेंगे और वो मटेरियल्स हम उसके ऊपर हम प्रोजेक्ट करेंगे. स्टूडेंट्स, हमारा सेशन क्लोज होने से पहले हम आपको कुछ एक और चीज रह गई है जो हम बताना चाह रहे हैं, दैट इज हमारे मैराथन के बारे में. इफ यू हैव हर्ड अबाउट ATL, then I would definitely encourage all the students to participate in marathon. So let's talk about, let's spend 5-10 minutes here on ATL marathon. How is it going to help us? What are the opportunities that it will bring for us? So students, ATL Marathon is a competition. Every year, this competition will be organized and students across the country will be submitting their projects. So here is the link to apply your innovations, your ideas in ATL Marathon. This link again, we'll share it with all the students. So have you ever heard about the marathon or have you participated in the marathon, students? You can answer again using the chat box and the live chat option, students. Yes, I can see, yeah. There are answers like yes, yeah. I can see a lot of answers. You have been hearing about ATL Marathon, right? So this year, Marathon 2021 is specific, is on given themes. Every year, this ATL Marathon is a competition which is organized by Atl Innovation Mission, Niti Aayog. If you know ATL labs and if you have been accessing ATL labs, then you definitely might be knowing Atl Innovation Mission Niti Aayog is the central governing body who has helped your schools to establish ATL labs. Now, they know ATL students will be developing a lot of projects, their innovations, their ideas can definitely change and they can bring a revolutionary change in our lives. Keeping that in mind, ATL team को, Atl Innovation Mission की टीम को पता है जब ATL लैब में बच्चे आएंगे, प्रोजेक्ट्स करेंगे, उनके पास डेफिनेटली काफी ज्यादा आइडियाज होंगे, उनके प्रोजेक्ट्स होंगे जो काफी चेंज हमारे लाइफ में ला सकते हैं. उसको ध्यान में रखते हुए उन्होंने एक ये चैलेंज, इनोवेशन चैलेंज या फिर उसको कंपटीशन हम बोल सकते हैं, उसको इन्होंने ऑर्गेनाइज किया है. इसमें बेसिकली होता क्या है स्टूडेंट्स, आपको थीम दी जाती है, आपका प्रोजेक्ट, आप जो भी इनोवेशन कर रहे हो उस थीम को रिवॉल्व करते हुए, यानी कि उस थीम के इर्द गिर्द हम देखेंगे क्या प्रॉब्लम्स है, हम कैसे सॉल्यूशंस ला सकते हैं और उसको हम सबमिट करेंगे अपने आइडिया फॉर्मेट में. Now, this year, to celebrate our 75th year of independence, ये साल हमारा इंस्पिरेशन जो मैराथन के थीम्स है वो डेवलपिंग अ न्यू इंडिया के ऊपर फोकस्ड है. और हमारे 4 थीम्स है इस साल. They have given us 4 different themes: health and nutrition, education, energy and transportation, social inclusion. There are 4 different themes that are given to us. under these themes, you can explore what are the different problems that you can find and what can be the best solution for it. Now here for today, your homework, your assignment is to explore the education field. Theme for us today, the homework, the assignment for you is, there are 3 different assignments, students, for you all. One, you will be logging on to tinkercad.com. Mr. Neeraj will be posting the link on YouTube as well as on the Zoom chat box so that students can have the URL for Tinkercad. You'll go onto the platform of Tinkercad. You'll develop or design simple circuits and explore the entire platform. Your second assignment is to again find out the resistor. What is the resistance? How does the resistor is working? Why is it stopping the current flow? You have to explore about it. And your third assignment is to explore this education field. Talk to your friends, talk to your teachers, discuss with them, sit in a group and find out what are the different challenges we have under the theme education and how can we solve them. And if you can see on my screen, there are 2 problem statements. One, we have to find out solutions to make education and learning inclusive for all the children, which means now we are in virtual mode. हमारे पढ़ाई जो है virtual से हो रही है, कभी online sessions हो रहे हैं, कभी offline sessions हो रहे हैं. हम इसको inclusive कैसे बना सकते हैं सारे students के लिए, हर एक के लिए education accessible किस तरीके से हो सकती है, ये हमारा first problem statement है. Now think what solution can you bring, or what can be your idea so that we can bring that inclusiveness in education and make it available, accessible to all the children. The second problem statement is, how can you integrate soft skills, technical skills and a mindset of innovation in school curriculum? मतलब ये है कि स्कूल में जो हमारे साइंस पढ़ाते हैं, मैथ्स, इंग्लिश, सोशल, आपके जो भी सब्जेक्ट्स है, उसके साथ साथ हम कैसे उनको इंटीग्रेट कर सकते हैं स्टूडेंट्स के टेक्नोलॉजी स्किल्स या सॉफ्ट स्किल्स, 21st सेंचुरी स्किल्स को हम कैसे एनहांस कर सकते हैं. अब आपको सिंपल बताऊं तो आप ऐसे देखो कि ATL लैब को आप अपने स्कूल करिकुलम में किस तरीके से इंटीग्रेट कर सकते हो so that student can enhance their 21st century skills. They can learn their skills, learn new skills and become successful professionals or entrepreneurs. So ये 2 प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट से, इन दोनों को छोड़ के अगर आप कोई और भी प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट देख रहे हो तो आपको दिख रहा है कि ये दोनों के अलावा कुछ और प्रॉब्लम है, प्लीज एक्सप्लोर. Talk to your friends, talk to your ATL in charges, talk to your LLF resource persons, the representatives. They will definitely help you out in finding both problem statements and the solutions. So tomorrow, as soon as we join, the first portion that we'll do is we'll talk about the solutions that you have identified. Just note down all the 3 questions. Mr. Neeraj again will be posting all the 3 assignments, logging on to Tinkercad, checking into exploring the entire website and designing simple circuit. Second, finding out how does a resistor works. Third, listing down the education, how can we make inclusive and how can we integrate different skills in school curriculum? How can we bring all these changes in school education system? Note down the problem statements and share your suggestions by tomorrow, so that we will work on this and we'll submit all of our entries, all of our solutions in Atl Marathon. Students, I can say this marathon is going to open a lot of opportunities for you. This will open the door of opportunities for you. You have great opportunities waiting ahead once we get featured in the top innovations of marathon. In the past, since I can say 2017-18, every year this marathon is happening and the winning teams are awarded with multiple opportunities. There have been, few students who participated in marathon. They have visited to Singapore, and they've represented their ideas in Singapore. They have been to Russia, they have been to Dubai. There are a lot of conferences where the students have represented our country, and they are on a journey to transform themselves from student innovators to student entrepreneurs. So students, this is all that we have for today. So I'm wishing you all the very best, that you explore and complete your assignments. And tomorrow, as soon as we start, we'll have a quiz wherein we'll see what all we have learned today. We'll reflect on it, and then we'll go ahead with the agenda for the next day. So students, all the best. Explore your communities, your surroundings, and try to find out more problem statements, and let's address them with innovations and multiple different ideas how we can solve all of them. Students, if you have any questions before closure, I'll take a minute of break, so that if you have any questions, you can post your questions in the chat box. We'll address them, and then we'll conclude for the day. Okay, one question I have got from Daraksha Fatima, and she says, ma'am, Tinkercad is not opening. Daraksha, this is not Twinker, it is Tinker, Tinker. The spelling is going somewhere wrong, Daraksha. Tinker, Tinker, CAD, Tinkercad is the correct spelling of it. Okay. Ma'am, how to submit our projects? Students, tomorrow we'll be discussing with you all, and you can share your projects with us tomorrow. You can explain to us, and then how to develop those ideas. Our team from Learning Links Foundation will be supporting you all, and they'll be getting in touch with your ATL in charges to help you develop your ideas and in turn work on them. Okay. Students, you can even unmute and speak. Siva Kumar has raised hand, so if you have any questions, you can unmute and speak, students. Okay, a very good question before closure by Shaista. Shaista says, ma'am, I don't have access to laptop or computer, but I want to do it. How can we do it in full screen on a mobile phone? Shaista, if you have opened your Chrome, you can see there is a menu option button at the top right corner. There are 3 or 9 dots, the button that you see there. Click on it and turn on the desktop mode. There is something called desktop mode, which you get in your mobile phones. Just turn on that that desktop mode. You'll see the screen similar to the screen that you are seeing when sir was working on it. You can use the desktop turning on mode, students. That will help you. Also, there's another question by Praveen Kumar Verma. How to upload my project in Atl Marathon? Students, I'll not take much of your time now. I'll just take 2 to 3 minutes, and I'll show how to submit your ideas, your projects in Marathon. Students, go on to your browser. Just type Atl Marathon 2021, which means 2021. You type Atl Marathon 2021. Just type this. The first website that you see innovate.mygov.in. Click on it. This is a page where you have to submit your ideas. You can see the way I have shown you themes, all the themes, problem statements, everything is mentioned here. And you can even go to participation guidelines and you can read all these guidelines and click on submit your button. Once you click on submit your button, you will get a new page. Here you have to log in. You can log in through your mobile phone or email ID, and then it will take you to the application page. The process is very simple. You just have to click on Atl Marathon 2021 in your Google. Go to your browser, type Atl Marathon 2021. The first link that you see, click on it. It will redirect you to a new page. Read all the instructions. The last date to submit your entries is 6th March 2022, students. So hurry up, and there are, I can say, very less time that is left for us to submit. You can submit all of your ideas here. And students who are asking for the recording of the session is available for you all on YouTube, and the link is posted in the chat box. So you can go there and you can use the same link to view and to watch your sessions on YouTube. Thank you, everyone. Students, with this, we are coming to a closure of the day, the first day of our boot camp, and we'll be having another 4 days full of learning and informative session awaits us. So we'll connect with you again tomorrow. Complete your assignments and stay safe, students. Thank you, everyone. Have a good day.